Chapter 651. The Cloud Emperor looked at Si Han Hai, who had been suppressed by him. He already had the upper hand. As for the Blood Demon, many forces in the North Continent had the intention to kill him. During this time, the Blood Demon was wreaking havoc in the North Continent, slaughtering many creatures. Especially when the murderous aura of heaven and earth descended, cultivators who were not strong enough would be instantly bewitched and fall into endless slaughter. So, every time the Blood Demon appeared, it was accompanied by a massacre. Even the ancient Buddha clan had suffered heavy losses. The ancient Buddha Emperor had attacked many times, but he could not stop the Blood Demon. However, the Cloud Emperor was now confident that he could stop the Blood Demon completely. Thinking that he had accomplished what the ancient Buddha Emperor had failed to do, a carefree smile appeared on his face. Kill the Blood Demon. Many forces in the North Continent owed the Cloud Clan a favor. This was a good thing. For the Cloud Clan, it also had many benefits. Dark clouds covered the sky, wrapping around the blood clouds. In the Cloud Clan's secret realm, one after another, experts walked out and attacked the Demon Clan cultivators. As a clan that had existed for a long time, although the Cloud Clan was not very strong, their foundation was not weak at all. Listening to the Cloud Emperor's threat, Si Han Hai did not have the slightest fear on his face, but there was a hint of madness in his scarlet eyes. Kill me quickly. I have long wanted someone to kill me. As he spoke, the smile on his face gradually widened, as if he was mocking him. Seeing this, the Cloud Emperor's face turned cold, and in the next instant, he had already attacked Si Han Hai. Boom! The void collapsed, and dark clouds covered the sky. Si Han Hai did not retreat. With a wave of his hand, the blood cloud surged, and countless weapons evolved from it, attacking the Cloud Emperor. The two fought again. Not long after, Si Han Hai's physical body was shattered. In the end, the Cloud Emperor's palm landed heavily, and Si Han Hai's body was torn apart. But before he could be happy, the blood cloud surged, and another Si Han Hai walked out. How about you and I join forces? I only want the Cloud Emperor's life, and the Cloud Clan's secret realm is yours. Si Han Hai suddenly said. As soon as he finished, the Cloud Emperor was shocked. He spread out his divine consciousness, but he did not find anything. Deliberately mystifying things. The Cloud Emperor sneered. It was also at this moment. A terrifying aura came crashing down from the sky. The Cloud Emperor looked up and saw a list floating in the sky. Heaven ranking. Emperor Qin. He instantly recognized the origin of the list, and his face turned pale. Emperor Qin. Emperor Qin of the Human Clan. The Cloud Emperor had never expected that the Qin Emperor of the Human Clan would come at this time and speak to him. In a split second, great fear welled up in his heart. Even when Xueling Huang attacked the Cloud Tribe, the Cloud Emperor did not feel this much fear. Because, no matter how strong Xueling Huang was, he was also merely a Nirvana Realm Supreme Powerhouse. The Qin Emperor of the Human Clan was a half-immortal. Although half-immortal experts had not truly become true immortals, their strength was naturally needless to say since they had the word immortal attached to them. In front of a half-immortal, even those at the 10th level of the celestial being realm had no way of contending against them. There was no time to think. The Cloud Emperor summoned the luck of the Cloud Tribe and used it on himself. Immediately, the Cloud Emperor was originally a 10th stage celestial being. Under the support of luck, his strength directly soared to the Nirvana realm. At this moment, the heaven ranking had already descended. That terrifying power crushed the surrounding void into powder. Facing such power, the Cloud Emperor's face was ferocious. His vital essence surged, and the long river of laws broke through the air. All the attacks bombarded the heaven ranking. Boom! The two collided. All the attacks were destroyed. The heaven ranking descended. The Cloud Emperor did not even have time to scream before his body was smashed into pieces. His spiritual deity was directly exposed to the air. Next, the power of the heaven ranking swept out, and the Cloud Emperor's terrified spiritual deity was sucked in. The entire process. It happened in a flash. In just a breath's time, the Cloud Emperor had already fallen. With the fall of the Cloud Emperor, the luck of the Cloud Tribe shook. All the people of the Cloud Tribe felt sorrowful in their hearts. Those experts of the Cloud Tribe who were fighting with the Devil Clan also looked at the person in the sky in horror, and the place where the Cloud Emperor had fallen. Emperor! The Emperor has fallen. Quickly return to the secret realm of the Cloud Tribe and seal it. The experts of the Cloud Tribe roared wildly. Then, they no longer cared about fighting with the Devil Clan cultivators and instantly fled toward the secret realm. The Cloud Emperor had fallen. The Qin Emperor of the human clan made a move and directly killed the Cloud Emperor, who was comparable to a Nirvana realm expert. That kind of strength. Even if the entire Cloud Tribe gathered together, there was no possibility of resisting. If they were determined to fight to the death with Qin Shujian, the Cloud Tribe would definitely be destroyed. After all, the Earth Eldar of the Western Prefecture had been killed by the Qin Emperor. The Cloud Tribe was weaker than the Earth Eldar. If they really fought to the death, there was no way for them to survive. And, even if they sealed the secret realm, they might not be able to stop the Qin Emperor. However, if they did not seal the secret realm, they would definitely die. The former still had a chance to live. The latter was doomed. How to choose? For the experts of the Cloud Tribe, there was nothing worth hesitating about. So, all the members of the Cloud Tribe retreated toward the secret realm. But even if they retreated, it did not mean that the Devil Clan cultivators would give up chasing. Boom! Suddenly, some experts of the Cloud Tribe self-destructed, blocking the Devil Clan cultivators. Soon, a large number of Cloud Tribe cultivators retreated into the secret realm. Then, the entrance to the secret realm was closed. As for the remaining members of the Cloud Tribe who could not retreat in time, they fought the Devil Clan cultivators to the death. The Qin Emperor's strength is indeed powerful. Looking at Qin Shujian in front of him, Si Hanhai's scarlet eyes showed a hint of fear. When it came to true strength, he was not as good as the Cloud Emperor. But even someone as strong as the Cloud Emperor was killed by the other party with one blow. Such strength made Si Hanhai feel great pressure. He had a premonition. If Qin Shujian wanted to attack him, he was not sure if he could escape. Strength was part of the reason. Another reason was the Heaven List in the other party's hands. The Heaven List was an 8-seal Dao artifact. It gathered the fortune of the human clan and had a strong sealing power. Facing such a treasure, it was not easy to escape. Putting away the Heaven List, Qin Shujian looked at Si Hanhai with his hands behind his back. He said calmly, "Should Ben Huang call you Brother Hanhai or Blood Demon?" Si Hanhai or Blood Demon, it's just a name. I am still me. The scarlet in Si Hanhai's eyes faded a little. He said lightly. Hearing that, Qin Shujian nodded slightly. That's true. Ben Huang is wrong. It's a pity that the Cloud Emperor was killed by the Qin Emperor. If he could stay, maybe the Devil Clan would have another expert of the 10th level of the Celestial Being Realm. Thinking of the fallen Cloud Emperor, Si Hanhai felt a little pity. After all, if an expert of the 10th level of the Celestial Being Realm was assimilated by him, the strength of the Devil Clan would increase a lot. It would be more convenient to attack other clans in the future. To this, Qin Shujian did not answer directly. He looked sideways at the Cloud Tribe's secret realm and shook his head with a smile. What's the use of sealing the secret realm? After that, the Godslayer came out. Zhu Bing's power could tear the sky and the earth apart. In an instant, the entire secret realm was torn open. Immediately, Qin Shujian stepped inside. The Heaven List came out, and the void in the secret realm collapsed. All the cultivators of the Cloud Tribe raised their heads and looked at the falling Heaven List. Their eyes were filled with despair. Boom! The Heaven List turned into infinity and directly flattened the entire Cloud Tribe's secret realm. At that moment, the Cloud Tribe was destroyed. Suddenly, the sovereigns of all the clans sensed it. Looking in the direction of the Cloud Tribe, their faces became solemn. Another clan was destroyed. One had to know. It was not an easy thing to destroy a clan. The first clan that was destroyed was the Eldar. Now, it was the Cloud Tribe. Many experts were puzzled as they tried to guess who it was that had annihilated the Cloud Tribe. The first thing they thought of was, it was the Soul Protection Emperor. After successfully attaining the Tao, the Soul Protection Emperor's strength had greatly increased. He was an expert who was stronger than most half-immortals. If the Soul Protection Emperor were to attack the Cloud Tribe, there was a high chance that he could destroy the Cloud Tribe. Find out who destroyed the Cloud Tribe. Xueling Huang ordered. A Blood Eldar elder said, in the North Continent, other than our clan and the ancient Buddha clan, only the Soul Protection clan has the strength to destroy the Cloud Tribe. If the Soul Protection clan attacks, what should we do? The Cloud Tribe is a vassal of our clan. If the Soul Protection Emperor attacks, then we'll destroy the Soul Protection clan. Xueling Huang's face was cold. In the past, he was too lazy to care about the Soul Protection Emperor. He did not want to waste his trump card on the weakest true immortal. However, if the Soul Protection Emperor did not know what was good for him and dared to go against the Blood Eldar, then Xueling Huang would let him understand that not everyone was qualified to challenge the Blood Eldar. If he really went against the Blood Eldar, only death awaited them. Elder Xue Eldar said, the Soul Protection Emperor is very strong. If we attack, I'm afraid the chances of winning are not high. He's just the weakest true immortal. Let a true immortal unseal, and he can destroy the entire Soul Protection clan. Yes, soon. The Blood Eldar sent experts to the Cloud Tribe to gather information. After all, the Cloud Tribe was destroyed. This was not a small matter. Moreover, the Cloud Tribe was a vassal of the Blood Eldar. If the Blood Eldar did nothing when the vassal tribe was destroyed, it would inevitably make the other vassal tribes disappointed. Therefore, no matter how one looked at it from, the Blood Eldar had to show up. On the other hand, after Qin Shujian destroyed the Cloud Tribe, he pulled out the entire Cloud Tribe's secret realm. Instantly, the void collapsed. A secret realm was directly pulled out, then sealed by a powerful force and forcefully stuffed into the heaven list. Without the existence of the secret realm, behind the collapsed space, there was an endless void. Originally, the void outside of heaven and earth was different from the void inside heaven and earth. But the existence of the secret realm, it was attached to heaven and earth. Therefore, when the secret realm was pulled out, a crack in the void outside of heaven and earth appeared. The void outside of heaven and earth. Qin Shujian put his hands behind his back. Through the broken space, he could see the loneliness behind the space. The power of heaven and earth was slowly closing the crack in the void. At this moment, countless black shadows came from the void outside of heaven and earth. They instantly occupied the crack in the void and then spread out through the crack. The black shadows spread. As if they had discovered Qin Shujian's existence, they immediately tried to devour him. Qin Shujian put his hands behind his back and did not move, allowing the black shadows to come closer. When the black shadows were about to touch him, the Godslayer suddenly appeared. The terrifying blade light tore through the sky and earth and instantly destroyed all the black shadows. It was like a baby crying. It was also like a ferocious beast roaring. The black shadow only let out a mournful scream before disappearing. What replaced it were a few crystals that fell from the sky. Qin Shujian moved his divine thought. The crystals that fell were instantly collected by him. On the other side, as time passed, the void gradually healed. However, just as it was about to heal successfully, endless darkness descended from the void outside of heaven and earth. An evil aura passed through the crack, causing Qin Shujian's expression to instantly turn solemn. Buzz! At this moment, the void completely healed. That evil energy also disappeared without a trace. Qin Shujian said in a deep voice, that demon just now should have reached the level of a true immortal, right? That's right. The Godslayer said, it's at least a second-level immortal, or even a third-level immortal, second-level immortal, third-level immortal. Qin Shujian's mind was focused. He knew that the Outer Realm demons were very powerful. Only when the myriad clans were at their peak in ancient times did they not fear the Outer Realm demons. But now, the myriad clans were destroyed, and the strength of all forces was greatly reduced. If a second-level immortal or even a third-level immortal from the Outer Realm demons really came in, the North Continent might completely fall. Not only that, it would not be an easy task for the other continents to contend against them. It seems that I can't casually tear open the Mystic Realm. The last time I tore open the Earth's Spirit Mystic Realm, it must have leaked the heaven and earth aura that attracted the attention of the Outer Realm demons, causing them to wander around heaven and earth. Now that the Yun clan's mystic realm has been torn open again, it attracted the Outer Realm demons. In the future, I'm afraid these Outer Realm demons will wander around there for a period of time, waiting for the next opportunity to enter heaven and earth. In just an instant, Qin Shujian figured out the reason. The Outer Realm demons were like hyenas. Heaven and earth was like a huge piece of fresh meat that was full of temptation. It was only because of the existence of the heaven and earth barrier that the hyena's search was blocked. However, once the mystic realm was torn open, it was equivalent to a gap in the protective membrane. The hyenas would naturally pounce on the smell of flesh and blood. Then, the gap behind it would disappear. However, the residual smell of blood would still exist there. Such a smell. It would cause the Outer Realm demons to wander outside heaven and earth, waiting for the next opportunity. He figured out the key points. Qin Shujian finally understood. Without enough strength, he could no longer tear open the mystic realm carelessly. Otherwise, it would attract powerful Outer Realm demons. That would be really troublesome. He was now certain. In the void of the Outer Realm demons that were comparable to second or third level perfected immortals were definitely still waiting there. However, now that the void had healed, Qin Shujian was not afraid that the Outer Realm demons would have a chance to barge in. Then, he looked at the sky. Unknowingly, the blood cloud had disappeared. Si Han Hai and all the demon race cultivators left quietly. Are you still afraid that I'll make a move? Qin Shujian shook his head and laughed. The reason why Si Han Hai ran so quickly without even saying goodbye was obvious. He was obviously afraid that he would make a move. That was why he ran away so decisively. However, he did not really chase after Si Han Hai. It was still the same sentence. If he was not his enemy, then he was not his enemy. After putting Si Han Hai's matter aside, Qin Shujian focused his attention on the Cloud Race's territory in front of him. It was the same as the Earth Eldar's territory. There was also a spirit vein in the Cloud Race's territory. The handblade fell. The earth cracked and split apart. Rich spiritual energy overflowed from it. Then, Qin Shujian reached out and a huge spirit vein was forcefully extracted from the ground. A large spirit vein. However, compared to the Earth Eldar's spirit vein, this spirit vein was barely large. However, this was enough. Qin Shujian collected the large spirit vein and then left in the Earth Eldar's territory under the horrified gazes of the foreign cultivators. Not long after, the Blood Eldar's experts arrived. Very soon, the news that Qin Shujian and Blood Demon Si Han Hai had joined forces to destroy the Cloud Race had spread. Human race. After receiving the news, Bloodling Huang was a little surprised, but his eyes soon turned cold. Whether it was the Soul Protector race, it didn't matter if it was the human race. It was impossible for the Blood Eldar to not make a move against the Cloud Race. An elder said, "My Emperor, should we attack the human race now?" Hearing that, Bloodling Huang did not answer immediately. After a long time, only then did a voice slowly come out. Emperor Zhao of the human race should be about to reach the Tao. Emperor Qin is a half-immortal. If we want to kill him, I'm afraid we'll need 2 true immortals. When Emperor Zhao reaches the Tao, our race can't sit back and do nothing. If we use too many true immortals, it won't be a good thing. Bloodling Huang instantly figured out the pros and cons. In his eyes, with Zhu Bing and Qin Shujian on the heaven list, the threat was much greater than the Soul Protector Emperor. A Soul Protector Emperor. Bloodling Huang was confident that he could send a true immortal to kill him. To face Qin Shujian, at least 2 true immortals were needed. If a true immortal were to take action and the other party managed to escape, the Blood Spirit clan would lose everything they had invested. So, true immortals did not attack, but once they did, they had to get something. Or else, there was no need to let a true immortal break out of the seal. My Emperor, what do you mean? When Emperor Zhao reaches the Tao, our race will teach the human race a lesson. But before that, we can't do nothing. Take Ben Huang's decree to the human race's territory and give them a warning. As Bloodling Huang spoke, a jade talisman flew out of his hand and landed in the hands of an elder. Destroy the Cloud Race. For Qin Shujian, it was a complete surprise. The Cloud Emperor had also lost a lot of energy when fighting with Si Han Hai. In addition, he was restrained by the other party, so he did not notice his presence at the beginning. And then there was the absolute gap in strength between the two sides. The fall of the Cloud Emperor was a matter of course. It could be said that, if Sihanhai was not there, it would not be easy for Qin Shujian to kill the Cloud Emperor if he wanted to escape. I went out for a walk and got back a secret realm. This is a good deal. Qin Shujian was full of smiles. He killed the Cloud Emperor. He also killed the entire cloud race. His life source increased by more than 100 billion. In other words, he saved more than a month's time. For others, more than a month passed in the blink of an eye. It was not worth their attention at all. But in Qin Shujian's eyes, more than a month's time was enough to change too many things. He could save a month. His strength could improve a lot. If he could save a year or two, Qin Shujian was confident that he could make the various races cry in front of the human race. From the 6th level to the 7th level of the celestial being, I need trillions of life sources. Then from the 7th level of the celestial being to the 8th level of the celestial being, I might need 2 trillion. My current life source is just over 200 billion. It's still too far away. Taking time to look at the changes in his attribute panel, Qin Shujian shook his head. If he wanted to directly upgrade to the 8th level of the celestial being, he had to destroy at least a dozen or 20 races. But if he did so, he was afraid that the 4 great continents would go crazy. So, Qin Shujian could only think about it. There was no way for him to really do it. After returning to the East Continent, Qin Shujian first took out all the spirit veins contained in the Cloud Race's secret realm and then integrated them into the Qian Yuan realm. Suddenly, the spirit energy in the Qian Yuan realm skyrocketed. All the cultivators who were cultivating in the Qian Yuan realm woke up in the skyrocketing spirit energy. Why did the spirit energy become stronger again? Could it be that Emperor Qin got some spirit veins again? That's why the spirit energy in the Qian Yuan realm skyrocketed. Some cultivators were stunned, but they did not care much. The skyrocketing spirit energy was a good thing. As for the reason for the skyrocketing spirit energy, it was not that important. In a mountain range, the Golden Rock King and others built a few simple thatched cottages here. Then the people of the Heavenly Pattern Island settled down here. For them, the living environment was actually not that special. Although the palaces of the Heavenly Pattern Island seemed to be very prosperous, they were things passed down from ancient times. For other cultivators, the thatched cottages in Yellow Earth City were very normal. The spirit energy has increased again. It's so strong. It's even stronger than the small world of the Holy God sect. The Golden Rock King opened his eyes from cultivation. There was a look of shock in his eyes. The spirit energy in the Qian Yuan realm. It was already not weaker than the small world of the Holy God sect. But just now, the spirit energy density skyrocketed again. It had completely surpassed the Holy God sect. Outside the thatched cottage, a normal-sized tree took root in it, and then slowly breathed in the spirit energy of heaven and earth. Just as the spirit vein fell in the middle of the tree, the face of the king of azure billows appeared. A new spirit vein has appeared. As an Eldar, he was very sensitive to spirit energy. The appearance of the spirit vein. Naturally, it could not be hidden from the king of azure billows. As an Eldar in the 2nd tier of the celestial being realm, Mu Yang could take root in the Qian Yuan realm and even reach the extent of covering the entire Qian Yuan realm. The king of azure billows naturally had such ability. However, without Qin Shujian's permission, the king of azure billows did not dare to take root in the Qian Yuan realm. He could only breathe in the spirit energy like an ordinary cultivator. He came back to his senses from the matter of spirit energy. The king of azure billows looked at the long river of rules surging in the sky. He had a hunch in his heart. He had broken through to the 4th tier of the celestial being realm. It should not take too much time. That river looks good. I don't know how the Qin Emperor got it. I'll have to ask him when I have time. The king of azure billows was a little envious. There was no other reason. He simply felt that having a river in the sky looked very dignified. As for the existence of the long river of rules, the king of azure billows did not recognize it. After all, he was only a cultivator in the 3rd tier of the celestial being realm. In addition, he was in the Heavenly Pattern Island and had no chance to touch the long river of rules. It was normal that he did not recognize it. In addition, under the long river of rules, there was a seal set by Qin Shujian. Therefore, the king of Azure Billows could not feel the power of the long river of rules. After placing the spirit vein, after Qin Shujian left the Qian Yuan realm, he stepped into the void and instantly arrived at the Fallen Moon Mansion. The Fallen Moon Mansion, the Chongning True Dominion. The moment the void collapsed, it caused a huge commotion. As the true overlord of the Chongning True Dominion, the Flying Crane sect was also the first to discover such a strange phenomenon. When Qin Shujian stepped out of the void, Bai Hengzi immediately arrived, bowed and said, Bai Hengzi of the Flying Crane sect greets the Qin Emperor. At this moment, Bai Hengzi, he had already broken through to the spirit god realm. However, in front of Qin Shujian, he did not dare to be rude at all. In fact, there was also a trace of undetectable excitement. Yes, excitement. Strictly speaking, the Flying Crane sect was a force that relied on Qin Shujian. In addition, the Flying Crane sect had always acted according to the rules and did not violate the Qinyuan sacred ground. In this way, when the Qin Emperor suddenly appeared in the Chongning True Dominion, Bai Hengzi had a premonition that something good was going to happen. Qin Shujian smiled faintly and said, It's been a while since we last met. Sect Master Bai, your cultivation has improved quite well. I don't dare to be praised by the Qin Emperor. Bai Hengzi smiled slightly and then asked politely, May I know why the Qin Emperor has come to the Chongning True Dominion this time? If you have any orders, the Flying Crane sect and I will definitely do our best. To show loyalty, it was always needed. However, it was not easy for Bai Hengzi to meet Qin Shujian in the past. Now that the Qin Emperor was finally standing here, he naturally would not let go of this opportunity. Qin Shujian shook his head. Sect Master Bai, just step back a little. Yes. Bai Hengzi had an awkward look on his face, but he didn't dare to ask any more questions and left as he was told. Immediately, Qin Shujian took out the heaven list and released a large spirit vein from it. The moment the spirit vein appeared, a wave of extremely dense spiritual energy burst out. Bai Hengzi bore the brunt of it. When he felt the rich spiritual energy rushing towards him, his face suddenly turned slightly red, as if he was drunk. Then, under Bai Hengzi's horrified gaze, the ground shook violently. In the next instant, the ground cracked. The spirit vein was directly thrown into the crack. After the spirit vein was buried, the cracked ground healed again. Qin Shujian took out the sealed Yun clan's mystic realm and forced it to explode under Bai Hengzi's horrified gaze. Boom! The mystic realm was shattered. Terrifying spirit qi instantly swept across the world like an ocean wave. At that moment, Bai Hengzi did not care about his manners. He sat cross-legged on the ground and madly circulated the universe Tao-seeking sutra to absorb the surging spirit qi. Rumble! The spirit qi surged. His cultivation broke through. Second level of the spirit martial realm. Third level of the spirit martial realm. Fourth level of the spirit martial realm. Not only Bai Hengzi, but all the cultivators in the Chongning True Dominion also fell into a state of breakthrough under the impact of the spirit qi. It did not stop. The spirit qi broke through the boundary of the Chongning True Dominion at an extremely fast speed and spread to other True Dominion. At that moment, the Fallen Moon Mansion was shaken. After an unknown period of time, only then did Bai Hengzi open his eyes again. The first thing he did was to check his cultivation. Then, a carefree smile appeared on his face. Sixth level of the spirit martial realm. Sixth level of the spirit martial realm, the peak of the airborne realm. Above that was the great cultivator of the prominent divine realm. If it was in the past, it would take at least a few decades to break through from the first level of the spirit martial realm to the sixth level of the spirit martial realm. But now, he had succeeded in breaking through. The surprise came so suddenly that Bai Hengzi was a little at a loss. At that moment, only then did he realize that Qin Shujian had already left without him noticing. He wanted to thank him but could not find anyone to thank. For that, Bai Hengzi could only bow in the direction of the Qinyuan sacred ground. Emperor Qin's kindness is like a new life. The Flying Crane sect will remember it. At that moment, heaven and earth shook. The Chongning True Dominion officially evolved into the Chongning Spiritual Dominion. Feeling such a change, Bai Hengze's expression changed again. Without thinking, he returned to the Flying Crane sect to take charge of the situation. Everything changed too quickly. The appearance of a large spirit vein and the spirit chi impact of the broken mystic realm had made his cultivation break through a lot. It had also officially promoted the Chongning True Dominion to the spirit domain. Bai Hengze had a hunch. The promotion of the Chongning True Dominion would definitely attract many forces. When the time came, the status of the Flying Crane sect would also be threatened. Under such circumstances, Bai Hengze naturally did not have a reason to give up his territory. It was just that the Qinyuan sacred ground would suppress it. There would not be a big fight. However, small frictions were unavoidable. When the Yun clan's mystic realm was broken, Qin Shujian had already returned to the Qinyuan realm. This time, he went to the Fallen Moon Mansion. His main purpose was to bury a large spirit vein in the Fallen Moon Mansion and supply the spirit chi of the broken Yun clan's mystic realm. A large spirit vein had already been buried in the Baiyun Mansion. Although the spirit vein was in the Liang Mountain spirit domain, the spirit chi of the spirit vein was vast enough to affect the entire Baiyun Mansion. Under such circumstances, there was no need to put a second spirit vein in. Moreover, now the Qinyuan sacred ground ruled the entire cultivation world. It was not a force of sections. Qin Shujian was the human emperor of the human clan, not the sect master of the Yuan sect. If all the benefits were given to the Baiyun Mansion, then the others would not say anything on the surface, but they would definitely be dissatisfied. It was a favoritism. After all, it was not suitable. Moreover, burying the spirit vein in the Baiyun Mansion was not as useful as burying it in other mansions. As for why the Chongning True Dominion, Qin Shujian had his own selfish reasons for doing so. In the Fallen Moon Mansion, there were only two sects that had a good relationship with the Yuan sect. One was the Heavenly Array sect, and the other was the Flying Crane sect. Compared to the former, Qin Shujian was more willing to help the Flying Crane sect grow stronger. Now that two spirit veins have been buried, there are still 11 mansions left in the Great Zhao 13 mansions, which are 11 large spirit veins. If all the spirit veins in the mansions can be filled, then the human clan will be able to reach the true martial realm. However, it is not appropriate to make a move now. When the human clan gives birth to a true immortal, then it will be time to plunder the spirit veins. Qin Shujian sipped his spirit tea slightly. There was a faint smile on his face, but when he looked at it seriously, there was a hint of coldness in his smile. It was impossible to coexist peacefully. If the foreign clans had enough strength, they would definitely destroy the human clan. If the human clan had enough strength, they would not let the foreign clans go. They did not make a move now. There was only one reason. Neither side was confident that they could destroy the other. In addition, the foreign clans were not united, leading to a stalemate. The human clan did not have a trump card that could turn the tables, so Qin Shujian did not intend to break the deadlock now. However, in the future, when the human clan had enough strength, they would directly turn the tables. They would be too lazy to talk so much nonsense. Putting this matter aside, Qin Shujian refocused his attention on himself. Up until now, he had already advanced to the 7th level of the celestial being realm, and he had also formed 2 laws. Before Emperor Zhao breaks through, it's impossible for me to advance to the 8th level of the celestial being realm. In this case, I have to think of a way to improve my strength as much as possible. To be honest, although I'm already very strong, if I encounter a sealed true immortal, it'll still be troublesome. Therefore, improving my strength is inevitable. It's just that I can't break through my realm now. If I want to increase my combat strength, there won't be so many emperors to be killed by me. Although the Cloud Emperor had fallen, under the suppression of the Heaven Roll, his flesh and blood had all collapsed and shattered. There was nothing left at all. In this way, Qin Shujian could not devour the Cloud Emperor's essence and blood. Moreover, for his current foundation, a celestial being realm emperor was destined to not be able to provide much help. There was a spiritual deity sealed by the Cloud Emperor on the Heaven Roll. However, Qin Shujian had not thought of how to deal with it yet, so he left it there for the time being. Subsequently, he took out 3 more crystals, which were left behind after killing the extraterrestrial devils. According to what the Godslayer said, these crystals could increase the power of a spiritual deity without any restrictions. Senior, is it possible for a spiritual deity of the celestial being level to be born with a spiritual deity of the celestial being level? Impossible. The Godslayer denied and said, no power can be perfectly absorbed. However, the 3 extraterrestrial devils you killed earlier should be of the almighty level. A crystal can create a celestial being's spiritual deity. However, breaking through to the celestial being level is not only a matter of the spiritual deity, but also a matter of the physical body. Of course, I know this. Qin Shujian smiled slightly and then put away the 3 crystals. A treasure that could improve a spiritual deity. It would definitely be useful in the future. As for Qin Shujian himself, he had no intention of devouring the crystals, unless it was a crystal condensed by an extraterrestrial devil at the 10th level of the celestial being level or above. Ordinary extraterrestrial devil crystals would not be of much use. It would be a waste to eat it. It would be better to keep it. Who knows, it might even be able to give birth to a few celestials for the human race. After a simple inventory of his gains in the Cloud Tribe, Qin Shujian looked at his own attributes. With a thought, 100 billion life force source was consumed. In its place, the ancestral scripture of forging directly broke through to the 3rd stage. Boom! The ancestral scripture of forging was promoted. Qin Shujian immediately felt his spiritual deity being pulled by a force, forcibly breaking into the mother stream of laws, and then crashing into a long river of laws. Not long after coming out of the long river of laws, he crashed into another long river of laws. In the courtyard, the Godslayer felt the rule power emerging from Qin Shujian's body and was speechless for a moment. Between people, there was probably no trust to speak of. P.S. I'm almost done repaying my debt. I'm about to be free. Ha ha ha. Chapter 652. In the human territory, the void suddenly shattered, and a person flew over. Then, he struck out with his palm, and the palm aura became infinitely large, covering an area of 10,000 miles. The power had not yet fallen. It had already shocked all the human cultivators. Formation, rise! The East City Lord shouted angrily. The 4 cities unleashed a powerful force. Immediately, runes appeared in the human clan's territory. In an instant, the runes connected into a whole. Buzz! A light shield rose, protecting the human territory. Boom! The palm collided with the light shield, and a terrifying force was released. Immediately, the light shield shook violently, and cracks appeared in it. Seeing this scene, the East City Lord's expression was ugly. The formation was left behind by the Elder of the Imperial Astronomer, and it was personally left behind by a Second Realm Array Grandmaster. Coupled with the power of the 4 cities and other arrangements, the power of the formation had already been pushed to the extreme. In terms of defensive ability, even a powerful cultivator would not be able to break it. However, in front of this person, with just a simple palm, the formation was at risk of shattering. Such an unforeseen event. The East City Lord immediately looked at Dan Hao and shouted in a deep voice, "This power is definitely not something a powerful cultivator can possess. I hope Brother Dan can immediately send a message back and ask the powerhouses of our clan to come and help." "I've already sent a message back." Dan Hao nodded, and then looked at the person in the sky with an ugly expression. Of course, this power is not something an ordinary powerful cultivator can possess, because he is not an ordinary person. He is the Emperor of the Blood Eldar, Bloodling Huang. The East City Lord's expression changed drastically. He never thought that Bloodling Huang would personally make a move. It was very simple. The East City Lord had never seen Bloodling Huang. When the war began, the 4 cities guarded the entrance of the passage. Although there were city lords who participated in the war later, that was not him at all. So, from the beginning to the end, the East City Lord had never seen Bloodling Huang before. It was just that he had never seen him before, but Dan Hao had. As a cultivator who had experienced the Battle of the East Continent, he would basically recognize Bloodling Huang. At this moment, Bloodling Huang had already attacked again. Another palm fell, and the cracks on the light barrier became even more severe. However, when the light barrier cracked, more power surged out from the magic array to continuously replenish the power it had lost. Boom! Before the light barrier shattered, the Black Emperor walked out of the Black Stone secret realm. Looking at Xueling Huang in front of him, his expression was grave. Bloodling Huang, Black Monarch. Xueling Huang's expression was indifferent. Are you sure the Black Stone Condor race wants to serve the human race? There's no need to say anything more. Bloodling Huang, you should leave. The Black Emperor thinks that you are a match for Bin Huang. If Xueling Huang's true body had come, Bin Huang would naturally be no match for him. However, if it's just a clone, he doesn't have the right to speak so arrogantly in front of Bin Huang. The Black Emperor stood with his hands behind his back, his face cold. With his strength, how could he not be able to tell whether the Bloodling Huang in front of him was the real body or a clone? We'll know once we try. Xueling Huang smiled. In the next instant, he had already attacked the Black Emperor. The Black Emperor was not afraid at all. He also attacked his enemy. The two exchanged blows. Their powers shattered the void. However, not long after, Xueling Huang's clone suddenly exploded, and a biting cold hurricane swept out. The Black Emperor's expression changed slightly. However, he did not retreat. Instead, he spread out his energy and blocked all the aftershocks. Rumble. The energy shattered, and the aftershocks dissipated. Xueling Huang. The Black Emperor's gaze fell on the void that was gradually recovering as he muttered to himself. From the beginning to the end, the other party's arrival seemed to be for the sake of coming. After exchanging blows with him, the other party decisively self-destructed a clone. There was no follow-up. The Black Emperor did not believe it. How could Xueling Huang be so naive as to think that a clone could destroy the human race's territory? If that was the case, the other party's actions were somewhat deliberate. Soon, the Black Emperor figured out the crux of the matter. Is it because of the Cloud Tribe? Is it to show the other factions their attitude? Obviously, Xueling Huang's actions should be to give the other factions a clear explanation. Soon, the news of Xueling Huang's attack on the human race's territory was spread to the Qianyuan sacred ground. Not long after, Qin Shujian summoned Holy Fire and the other two. Emperor Qin, the three of you can go to the human race's territory and then guard there. If the human race can resist any experts who invade the human race's territory, then you don't need to do anything. However, if the human race can't resist, then you will have to help. Qin Shujian said lightly. The human race's territory now had the Black Rock Condor clan, but it was not enough. No matter how strong the Black Emperor was, he was only one person. As for the other experts of the Black Emperor Condor clan, they had also suffered many casualties in the battle with the Demon clan. The remaining ones might not be as strong as Holy Fire and the other two. Under such circumstances, Qin Shujian still thought that it was safer to send 3 people over. Anyway, the 3 of them had already made an oath, and the probability of them rebelling was very small. Moreover, the 3 8th-level celestial being experts had not been of much use in the Eastern continent. It was better to let them go and increase the strength of the human race at the front line. However, Qin Shujian also knew the difficulties of the 3, especially Holy Fire. Therefore, he did not ask the 3 of them to help at all times. They would only help when the human race was in danger. Hearing this, Holy Fire and the others looked at each other and finally nodded and said, "We will do as you command." Refuse? That did not exist. They were not humans, but soldiers who had been subdued by Emperor Qin. It was impossible for him to refuse. After Holy Fire and the other 2 left, Qin Shujian still stayed in the courtyard and did not do anything. It was just as he had thought. After upgrading the ancestral canon of casting, he had comprehended 2 more rules. One was the rule of casting. The other was the rule of array formation. These 2 rules were the same as the rule of alchemy. They were directly at the limit of the celestial being. As for the size and strength, it was similar to the rule of alchemy. Including the last 2 rules, Qin Shujian had a total of 4 rules. Since then, only now did he understand how difficult it was to improve on one of the 4 precepts. Therefore, during this period of time, Qin Shujian had been silently tempering his power rule, hoping to have a breakthrough. However, he had not gained anything. As for Godslayer, he did not say anything about this. He was already certain that Qin Shujian was the reincarnation of an existence above the rules, the reincarnation of an expert of this level. So what if he followed 4 rules at the same time? Was it not a normal thing? Therefore, compared to the previous shock, Godslayer was very calm and indifferent this time. There was a kind of feeling that no matter how strong he was, no matter how tyrannical he was, soon, Qin Shujian calmed his mind and continued to wander in the long river of rules. Time passed by little. After Blood Spirit Emperor's attack on the human territory also calmed down. Until one day, the Mother River of Rules was vast and mighty, running through the 4 continents. A terrifying aura spread out from within, attracting the attention of all the powerhouses. At the same time, the fate of the human race was turbulent. Qin Shujian held the heaven list in one hand, forcibly suppressed the turbulent fate of the human race, and then appeared in Qinyuan Hall. At this moment, all the elders of the sacred land had already appeared here. They had left their names on the heaven list. Leaving their names on the heaven list, they would be blessed by the fate of the human race. Now that the fate of the human race was turbulent, it naturally could not be hidden from their perception. Embark looked solemn and asked in a deep voice, "May I ask what happened, Emperor Qin? Why is the fate of the human race fluctuating?" The rest of the people also turned their gazes to Qin Shujian, waiting for his reply. Emperor Zhao has attained the Tao. Pass down the order of Binhuang. Everyone is not to panic. In addition, send a message to the human territory to strictly prevent the various clans from attacking the human race. There must be no mistakes. Qin Shujian looked indifferent. Emperor Zhao had attained the Tao. Embark and the others were shocked, but they quickly came back to their senses, bowed their heads and said, "We accept the order." Soon under the order of the Qinyuan sacred land, a large number of cultivators rushed to the human territory. Emperor Zhao's attainment of the Tao was a major event that concerned the survival of the human race. After Qin Shujian gave the order, he immediately went to the human territory. At this moment, the experts of the various clans had all awakened from their seclusion. When they saw the mother stream of laws in the outside world, an inexplicable look appeared on their faces. Soon, they saw a person walking out of the mother stream of laws. A long river of laws that was hundreds of feet wide surged and directly broke out of the mother stream of laws, forming an additional tributary that opened up into the sky. When they saw the person appear, the various clans were shocked. Emperor Zhao of the human race. In the secret realm of the demon clan, the demon emperor looked coldly at the person who walked out of the mother stream of laws, his eyes full of solemnity. The Tao that Emperor Zhao of the human race has taken is indeed different. This Tao is much stronger than the demon emperor's Tao that I have taken. No wonder he can suppress all the other emperors. The demon emperor's Tao was only hundreds of feet wide. The Tao that Emperor Zhao had taken had a width of 120 to 300 feet. For the long river of laws, there was a certain gap between every 10 feet. The gap between the width of 2 to 300 feet was even greater. Is this the human emperor's Tao? The top clans that were above the demon clan in the ancient times have indeed given birth to countless experts. The human emperor's Tao has been developed to such an extent. However, no matter how strong your Tao is, it won't change anything. Today's attainment of Tao is the day you fall. The demon emperor put his hands behind his back and a faint smile appeared on his face. The various clans did not attack the human race now, not because they had forgotten their hatred for the human race, but because they were waiting for an opportunity, a suitable opportunity to strike. Now that Emperor Zhao had attained Tao, it was an opportunity. The demon emperor said in a deep voice, "Pass down Binhuang's order to attack the human territory immediately." "Yes, my emperor's order." Thunder Saint and Heaven Saint bowed and accepted the order, their faces full of ferocious smiles. They were finally going to attack the human race. Last time, they had suffered a great loss at the hands of Qin Shujian and had not had a chance to get back at him. This time, they were going to attack the human race. Only then did they see hope. Soon, a large number of experts of the demon clan walked out of the secret realm and headed toward the human territory. At the same time, inside the blood spirit secret realm, Bloodling Huang said in a deep voice, "Blood Eldar, attack the human race with all your strength. You must destroy the human race." Yes, the Blood Eldar experts were all in the blood spirit secret realm. Not only that, the God Clan, Ancient Buddha Clan, and other top clans also gathered their forces and headed toward the human territory. And the vassal clans of the various clans, and the other clans that had a grudge against the human race. At this moment, they all received the same message and sent their experts to the human territory. The nine-headed dog clan. The dog emperor looked at the surging mother stream of precepts and saw Zhao Emperor stepping on the long river of precepts and destroying many phantoms. His expression turned strange. He was shocked and also regretful. There was hesitation, but soon he became decisive. Emperor Zhao has attained Dao. The various clans will definitely attack the human race. This is not only the best time to stop Emperor Zhao from attaining Dao, but also the best time to destroy the human race. The human race is short of a half-immortal, so the various clans will not let go of this opportunity. The dog emperor sighed. In the main hall, the elders of the nine-headed dog clan gathered. Zhu Chen said, "My emperor, what do you think our clan should do?" Ben Huang has already formed an alliance with the human race. Naturally, there is no reason to go back on our word. The various clans are attacking the human race. As the human race's ally, we should help. The dog emperor said, then looked at Zhu Chen and said, "Pass down Ben Huang's order. You all can head to the human territory." "We will obey the order." Zhu Chen and the others did not refute. They all bowed and accepted the order. "Go." The dog emperor waved his hand, and a large number of nine-headed dog clan experts left. However, he did not personally move, because the dog emperor knew very well that not only would he not participate in this battle, but even the demon emperor and the others would not participate. The emperors of the various clans still had to guard the secret realm. Those who would really participate, only those below the emperor realm. However, even so, it was still a power that was enough to make one's expression change. The dog emperor wanted to know, did Qin Shujian have the ability to resist this power? A half-immortal is strong, but if he can kill 10 mighty figures, can he kill 20, 30, or even 100? Although a half-immortal has the word immortal, he can only be considered a half-immortal. He hasn't completely transcended and hasn't transformed into an immortal body. He can't surpass all living beings. The dog emperor thought to himself. He didn't quite believe Qin Shujian's words that he could rival a true immortal. A celestial killing an immortal. How difficult. Not to mention, he was a cultivator at the 7th level of the celestial being realm. If Qin Shujian could break through to the 10th level of the celestial being realm, then the dog emperor would believe this. But the 7th level of the celestial being realm, he was still too far away from a true immortal. My clan helped you this time because we are allies, but it doesn't mean that my clan will fight to the death for the human race. If you don't have the confidence to fight, then my clan will retreat. The survival of the human race should be in your hands. Then let Ben Huang see what other trump cards you have. On this day, when Emperor Zhao attained the Dao, all the races were shocked. On this day, when Emperor Zhao attained the Dao, all the human powerhouses rushed to the human territory. Similarly, the powerhouses of all the races also formed an alliance army and rushed toward the human territory. Even though the massacre had yet to begin, there was already a feeling of dark clouds looming over the human territory. East City. Qin Shujian sat on the main seat and looked at the East City Lord. All cultivators below the God Martial Realm, except for the soldiers in the army who can form a military formation, return to the East Continent. In addition, all cultivators above the God Martial Realm in the East Continent are to rush to the human territory. The other 4 cities are to enter a state of war and be ready to fight at any time. Yes, sir. The East City Lord bowed and accepted the order. Then, Qin Shujian looked at the others and said calmly, Emperor Zhao is about to attain the Dao. Everyone, get ready. If the other races dare to invade, kill them all. We humans have never been afraid of the other races. Haha, I've long wanted to kill to my heart's content. Looking at everyone's high spirits, Qin Shu Jian nodded slightly. This battle. It would definitely not be much weaker than the battle where the humans walked out of the East Continent. Even, it would surpass the battle where the humans walked out of the East Continent. Seriously speaking, this battle would be a battle where the humans would transform. If they could survive, then the humans would no longer have any problems. At least, that was the case before the demon abyss descended. But if the humans could not survive this calamity, then there was nothing to say. Then, Qin Shujian left the East City and headed to the Black Stone secret realm. The Black Emperor was already waiting in the hall. Emperor Qin. Black Emperor, are you ready? Everything is ready. Don't worry, Emperor Qin, the Black Emperor said in a deep voice. Then, he looked at Emperor Zhao, who was still walking on the long river of laws in the sky. His expression was solemn. Emperor Qin, do you think that the chances of Emperor Zhao succeeding are high? What do you think? Qin Shujian asked in return. For this, the Black Emperor could only remain silent. Qin Shujian smiled and said, it doesn't matter if the success rate is high or not. There's no need to investigate. Now that the Black Stone Condor race is tied to the humans, if the humans fail, you won't have a good ending either. If Emperor Zhao succeeds, the Black Emperor will also benefit. Right now, the humans are facing two problems. One is whether Emperor Zhao succeeds or not, and the other is whether the humans can withstand the attack of the myriad races. At this point, he turned his back to the Black Emperor, and his voice gradually became confident. The first problem is that in Ben Huang's opinion, there's no possibility of failure. The second problem is that with Ben Huang here, the myriad races won't have a chance to break through the human territory. No matter how you look at it, the humans will definitely win this battle. The humans will definitely win. The Black Emperor repeated these words in his heart. He looked at Qin Shujian's back. There seemed to be endless rule power faintly appearing from it. This scene, it made the Black Emperor's heart tremble. In the sky, the long river of laws was like a branch that split apart from the mother river of laws. Then, like rivers returning to the sea, it merged back into the mother river of laws. At this moment, heaven and earth shook. A vast long river of laws appeared in the mother river of laws. And at the end of the long river of laws, there was a monument erected in the middle of the hall. The monument of laws. Without waiting for Emperor Zhao to take a step in the long river of laws, the sky was immediately covered by blood clouds. Buzz! The void trembled. One terrifying aura after another walked out from the four continents. The long river of laws under their feet trembled and instantly broke into the battlefield of laws. At the same time, the lightning tribulation in the sky struck down. But for those powerhouses who had broken through the seal, it didn't affect them at all. Hiss! 12 perfected immortals. When the Dog Emperor saw the perfected immortals walking out from the four continents, he immediately sucked in a breath of cold air. 12 perfected immortals. This was something he had never expected. No matter how the Dog Emperor guessed, he didn't expect that the various races would be so ruthless as to take out 12 perfected immortals in one go in order to stop Emperor Zhao from achieving the Tao. In an instant, the Dog Emperor's expression turned ugly. The 12 perfected immortals blocked the path. His 9-headed dog clan could only produce one perfected immortal. As for the humans, if there were really perfected immortals hiding, there would only be one or two at most. After all, the humans were the race that had suffered the most losses in the past million years. Such a race. It was impossible for them to have too many perfected immortals. As for the allies that Qin Shujian could rope in, there wouldn't be too many. When the other party was roaming around the four continents, the Dog Emperor didn't get any news at all. According to his guess, that Emperor Qin was able to rope in 5 or 6 clans at most, using one perfected immortal from each race. Plus, the human race might have some hidden trump cards. Then, when Emperor Zhao achieved the Tao, he would at most have 8 perfected immortals to help him. Even if it was 1-for-1, would Emperor Zhao be able to deal with the remaining 4 perfected immortals alone? As soon as this question arose in the Dog Emperor's mind, he immediately extinguished it. A person who hadn't become an immortal, how could he deal with 4 perfected immortals? Plus, These 12 perfected immortals were just the beginning. If there were any changes, more perfected immortals would definitely appear. It could be said that Emperor Zhao's attempt to achieve the Tao this time was a complete failure. The Dog Emperor wasn't the only one who thought so. When the other powerhouses saw the 12 perfected immortals appear, they all had the same thought. Emperor Zhao. He was going to fail. In the secret realm of the monster clan, the monster emperor looked at the 12 perfected immortals with a faint smile on his face. 12 perfected immortals. How will the human race deal with them? This time, the monster clan had one perfected immortal. The other races also had one perfected immortal. To deal with the human race, the races had already made a secret agreement. Every race would send one perfected immortal to join forces to stop Emperor Zhao from achieving the Tao. As a reward for the deal, as long as a race had a perfected immortal, the other races couldn't stop them from achieving the Tao in the future. If a powerhouse tried to stop them, the other races would have to help them. Because of this, these races formed an alliance to deal with the human race. As for why they didn't join forces to attack the human race, the reason was simple. They couldn't guarantee that the human race didn't have other ancient perfected immortals. And at that time, the war would start. The human race wasn't at its weakest. Only at this time. That was when the human race was at its weakest. When Emperor Zhao achieved the Tao, the human race was already short of one of the 2 perfected immortals. The 12 perfected immortals tried to stop him. It was destined that the other party wouldn't be able to resist. At this point, even if the human race had many hidden perfected immortals, they would all come out to help Emperor Zhao achieve the Tao. However, for the monster emperor, the 12 perfected immortals weren't enough to deal with Emperor Zhao. But it would be best if the 12 perfected immortals could kill Emperor Zhao. If there were perfected immortals who couldn't kill him, then a few more perfected immortals would come out. At that time, Emperor Zhao would definitely be defeated. At that time, although the other races had sacrificed their ancient perfected immortals, the human race would lose all their perfected immortals and a perfected immortal Emperor Zhao. Then, only Emperor Qin would be left. No matter how strong he was, he wouldn't be able to resist. Thinking that the human race was about to be destroyed, the smile on the monster emperor's face became colder and colder. Let Ben Huang see what other trump cards the human race has. In the human territory, the appearance of the 12 perfected immortals made all the humans fall into despair. At this time, the powerhouses of the 10,000 races arrived. Their terrifying aura shattered the sky. Qin Shujian flew into the sky. He stood in front of all the powerhouses of the 10,000 races by himself. Qin Shujian stood with his hands behind his back. Looking at the many powerhouses in front of him, his face was as calm as ever. The human territory. If you enter without permission, you will be killed without mercy. In front of him, there were more than 200 powerhouses. In addition, there were 8 10th-tier celestial beings leading them. As soon as he finished speaking, the powerhouses of the 10,000 races all smiled disdainfully. The heavenly saint sneered and said, "Emperor Qin, although you are a perfected immortal, you are not a true immortal. What right do you have to stop us? Today, the human race will be destroyed. You alone can't save the situation. If you surrender now, perhaps I can leave you with an intact corpse. How dare you be so rude to the Emperor Qin?" The void shattered. Xiang walked out with the ancient bronze sword in his hand and slashed at the heavenly saint. With this sword, countless sword chi shot out, turning the void in front of him into a turbulent flow. The heavenly saint punched out and destroyed all the sword chi. In an instant, the two of them fought. Boom! In the 4 cities, powerhouses walked out one after another. The great formation of the human territory was drawn. Millions of troops walked out and formed a military formation. Their killing aura soared into the sky. In terms of the number of powerhouses, the human race was inferior to any other race. But the human race had a battle formation, which could make up for this to a certain extent. At this moment, the Black Stone's secret realm opened. The Black Emperor walked out, followed by the powerhouses of the Black Stone Condor race. Emperor Qin, the 9-headed hound race, is here to help. A group of 10 people walked in the air. The leader was Zhu Quan. In an instant, There were more than 10 powerhouses on the human side. Among them, there was a Nirvana realm powerhouse like the Black Emperor. The Thunder Saint's face was gloomy. He said coldly, "Do the Black Stone Condor race and the Nine-Headed Hound race really want to be enemies with the other races? You must think carefully. The destruction of the human race is inevitable. Why do you want to die with the human race?" It was a threat. He did not hide it. P.S. Sorry, the word count for this chapter is a little low. I wanted to write 9,000 words, but my head is about to explode. I can't take it anymore. I'll write another 10,000 or 12 during the day to make up for this. Sigh, an afternoon nap is really necessary. Otherwise, I won't be able to hold on. Chapter 653. Hearing this, Zhu Chen chuckled and said, "My clan doesn't want to be enemies with the myriad races. It's just that I don't like your demon clan. Thunder Saint, do you want to help me?" Facing such mockery, Thunder Saint's eyes instantly darkened. As for the other cultivators of the myriad races, they did not speak. Zhu Chen was inviting the demon clan to battle. What did it have to do with them? Although they were considered an unconventional ally now, it was only when it came to dealing with the humans. Although the Nine-Headed Dog clan came to help the humans, but if they were all restrained by the demon clan cultivators, that was also a good thing. This way, the humans' help would be much less. Thunder Saint also understood that the other clans would not speak at this time. Facing Zhu Chen's invitation, if they retreated, it would be inevitable that the other clans would look down on the demon clan. Since that was the case, Thunder Saint could only accept the challenge. All right, when this saint kills you, my clan's army will definitely come to the city and wipe out your Nine-Headed Dog clan. Thunder Saint, let's talk about it after we get through this. Zhu Chen chuckled. In the next instant, a huge, seven-headed hound appeared in the sky and bit at the Thunder Saint. Thunder Saint took a step into the air. The lightning lake under his feet was born, and endless lightning power overflowed from it. Boom! The two instantly exchanged blows and collided fiercely. The remaining mighty figures of the Nine-Headed Hound clan were also engaged in a fierce battle with the demon race. Black Emperor looked at the people in front of him and gestured with his chin. He said indifferently, "Sky Marshal, Yuan Feng, play with Ben Huang." Among the cultivators of the myriad races, many cultivators had grave expressions on their faces. Sky Marshal, Blood Eldar's Great Elder, an expert at the 10th level of the Heaven Realm. Yuan Feng, God Clan's High Priest, an expert at the 10th level of the Heaven Realm. Black Emperor, as a Nirvana Realm expert, directly challenged two experts at the 10th level of the Heaven Realm. His aura did not decrease in the slightest. "Then I'll play with Black Emperor." Sky Marshal walked out and looked coldly at Black Emperor. He knew that the other party was a Nirvana Realm expert, but he was not too afraid. Although there was a gap between the 10th level of the Heaven Realm and the Nirvana Realm, it was not too big. Now that the High Priest of the Gods race had joined forces, unless the opponent was a top elite like the Demon King, they would still be able to deal with an ordinary Nirvana stage cultivator. As the Emperor saw it, the Black Emperor was very ordinary in the Nirvana realm. On the other side, the High Priest of the Protoss also stepped forward. Instantly, the human race had lost a Black Emperor, and the myriad races had lost two 10th level Heaven Human Realm experts. Soon after, the Blackstone Condor race's Almighties traded for a few other Almighties. But even so, there were still close to 200 Almighties among the 10,000 races. There were still 4 10th level Celestial being mighty figures left. Such strength was enough to easily destroy an entire race. Qin Huang, the human race should have no more reinforcements now, right? What else can you use to stop them? A cultivator who seemed to be nurtured within the resplendent starlight spoke with a calm voice. The voice was neither masculine nor feminine. Xingyu was a 10th level sky human expert from the star race. The star race was a big race that was weaker than the other top races. Qin Shujian recognized her after seeing her appearance. There was no other way. The star race was too easy to recognize. No matter where they went, they would be accompanied by dense starlight. It was easy to not recognize them. However, in the face of Xing Yu's words, Qin Shujian's expression remained calm. He said indifferently, "The human race doesn't need any more reinforcements. Since you've rushed here today, Bin Huang will fulfill your wish. Let your flesh and blood nourish the human territory. Arrogant. Xing Yu laughed angrily and instantly attacked. Tens of thousands of feet of starlight shattered the world and directly swallowed Qin Shujian and the entire human territory. Let me see how strong the legendary Qin Shi Huang is. As you wish. Qin Shujian punched out, and the fist energy directly extinguished the tens of thousands of feet of starlight. The terrifying force heavily bombarded Xing Yu's body. Instantly, the starlight shattered, revealing a woman with a curvaceous figure and an alluring face. However, she looked a little miserable. Under Qin Shujian's attack, her body directly collapsed, and her face was covered with cracks. When blood seeped out, she looked like a ceramic doll that was about to break. Then, Qin Shujian took another step forward. As the void under his feet collapsed, he also bombarded with a finger. Help me. Sensing the fatal threat of the finger energy, Xing Yu's pupils rapidly contracted. She no longer cared about anything else and asked for help with a frightened expression. From Xing Yu's attack, until Xing Yu was defeated, the whole process seemed to have happened in an instant. When Xing Yu's cry for help, the other experts of the 10,000 clans came back to their senses. They had no time to be shocked. Immediately, many experts took action. Terrifying power erupted and forcibly blocked Qin Shujian's attack. There was no other way. Xing Yu couldn't die. At least, she couldn't die at the beginning of the battle. Or else, that would be too demoralizing. However, what really shocked them was still Qin Shujian's strength. Many people didn't know how strong a half-immortal was. But in the eyes of the experts of the 10,000 clans, a half-immortal was at most a little stronger than a top Nirvana realm expert. However, these people never thought that a half-immortal could be so strong. In just the blink of an eye, he was able to severely injure a pinnacle powerhouse of the celestial being realm. The battle, it had completely erupted with Xing Yu's injury. Just as the experts of the human clan were about to take action, Qin Shujian's terrifying aura spread out, covering 100,000 miles of heaven and earth. The heaven list appeared out of nowhere, shattering the sky for thousands of miles. That terrifying aura, it directly shattered all the forces that were bombarding over. All humans, activate the array formation and protect the human territory. Leave the rest to Bin Huang. As soon as he finished speaking, Qin Shujian looked at the experts of the 10,000 clans in front of him with a cold smile on his face. Today, Bin Huang will fight 200 people. Boom! As soon as he finished speaking, the void shattered. Qin Shujian had already disappeared on the spot. In the next moment, the suppression of the heaven list descended. The experts of the 10,000 clans erupted with powerful attacks and bombarded the heaven list. At the same time, Qin Shujian had already appeared in front of a mighty figure of the 10,000 clans. Then, under the other party's shocked gaze, he pointed out a finger, and all the rules and Taoist runes were destroyed. The body of the mighty figure of the 10,000 clans instantly exploded, turning into a bloody mist that scattered all over the sky. This did not stop. The body exploded, and the spirit deity appeared. In the end, before the spirit deity could react to what was going on, it was obliterated by a terrifying force. The entire process, it was so fast that all the experts did not have time to react. By the time they reacted, a mighty figure had already fallen. From the beginning of the war until now, the first mighty figure had already fallen. Such strength had already caused the expressions of all the mighty figures of the 10,000 clans to change. Surround and kill Emperor Qin with all your might. Kill. Killing intent appeared on the faces of the remaining experts of the 10,000 clans. Emperor Qin must die. To destroy the human clan, they had to kill Emperor Qin. Or else, with the other party's strength, if he escaped from this war, then even if he destroyed the human clan, the various clans would not be able to sleep and eat in peace. At that time, an expert with terrifying strength and no restrictions would be the nightmare of most clans. This was also why there were very few extermination wars in history. Once an extermination war broke out, it was equivalent to saying that they had to have the confidence to kill the emperor of the clan. Or else, if the emperor fled, he would turn into an expert in the dark to hunt for revenge. No one could bear such a consequence. This was the case for ordinary emperors. If this Emperor Qin escaped, then all the clans would not be able to sleep. Emperor Qin wanted to kill. He had to be killed. If they could not kill Emperor Qin, then in the long run, the human clan might not be worth destroying now. In the human clan's territory, the formation was protecting. All the human cultivators were in the position of the formation. They used their own strength to channel into the formation, making it as airtight as an iron bucket. In the East City, Dan Hao's gaze was solemn. Looking at the battle outside the human clan's territory, there was a worried look on his face. Is Emperor Qin really going to fight against the experts of the 10,000 clans by himself? Since Emperor Qin has done so, he should be confident. The East City Lord took a deep breath. He was not sure. At this moment, he also deeply felt his powerlessness. 6th level of the celestial being realm. In the end, the difference was too great. Even if he had the East City Lord and could reach the 8th level of the celestial being realm, so what? There were no less than 200 mighty figures outside. The weakest of them was at the 7th level of the celestial being realm. It could be said that, when he did not use the East City Lord, any one of the mighty figures of the 10,000 clans could kill him, even if he used the East City Lord. The East City Lord was only confident in fighting against 2 mighty figures. However, once the East City Lord appeared, it was equivalent to the formation of the human clan's territory being broken. Then, the protective power would no longer exist. When that time came, just the aftermath of the battle would be able to destroy this place. Therefore, the East City Lord could not act rashly, nor could the other city lords, because this was the foundation of the human clan to the other 3 continents. If it was destroyed because of this, the human clan would have to retreat to the East continent. Unless it was absolutely necessary, they still could not do so. Therefore, right now, the human clan could only place their hopes on Qin Shujian, hoping that he was really confident in fighting against the experts of the 10,000 clans. Although the confidence was not great, however, before the other party was truly defeated, there was still a glimmer of hope. The 6th level of the celestial being realm is still too weak. Dan Hao sighed. This General Ming Yuan, he felt how weak he was. Ever since the human clan left the East continent, the enemies they faced had become stronger and stronger. The powerhouses who could hold down the fort in the East continent in the past could not play much of a role now. Dan Hao had a premonition. He was only a step away from the 7th level of the celestial being realm. However, it was very difficult to take this step. At this moment, in the human clan's territory, most of the cultivators' gazes fell on the battlefield between Qin Shujian and the powerhouses of the 10,000 clans. However, there were still some cultivators. Their gazes fell on the long river of laws. Emperor Zhao had attained the Tao and opened up the battlefield of laws. The 12 perfected immortals had broken through the seal and entered the battlefield of laws. The 12 perfected immortals really think highly of Ben Huang. Emperor Zhao looked at the 12 perfected immortals in front of him with a gloomy expression. 12 perfected immortals. He had underestimated the determination of the 10,000 clans to destroy him. From ancient times until now, there were definitely not many perfected immortals left by the 10,000 clans. The 12 perfected immortals in front of him had probably used up more than half of their foundation. One had to know. He had yet to successfully attain the Tao. He had only opened up a battlefield of laws, and 12 perfected immortals had already appeared. From this, it could be seen how eager the 10,000 clans were to suppress the human clan. The perfected immortal of the monster clan looked at Emperor Zhao with an indifferent expression. The human clan should not have any more perfected immortals, and the human clan should not exist. Today is the day you fail to attain the Tao, and the day the human clan is destroyed. Why are you talking so much nonsense? The thunder tribulation has already descended. Let's end this quickly. The perfected immortal of the God clan said coldly. Since they had broken out of the seal, there was no turning back. Their only goal now was to kill Emperor Zhao. Now that the thunder tribulation was getting stronger and stronger, if they could not kill Emperor Zhao, they would be killed by the thunder tribulation first. That would be a huge loss. Indeed, we have to end this quickly. Emperor Zhao sneered. In the next moment, the mother stream of laws shook, and another long river of laws was opened up. It was a sudden change. The powerhouses of the various clans and the perfected immortals' attention involuntarily fell on the law that had appeared. Attaining the Tao. Another powerhouse had attained the Tao. A vast law was opened up from the mother stream, and a person wearing a black and gold robe slowly walked out of it. When they saw the person's appearance, all the powerhouses' expressions changed. Impossible. The monster emperor's face was filled with shock. His eyes were fixed on the person who walked out of the mother stream of laws, and his eyes were filled with disbelief. Emperor Zhao. Emperor Zhao again. How could there be a second Emperor Zhao? Not only was the monster emperor shocked, but even the emperors of the other clans looked as if they had eaten feces. Suddenly, they thought of something, and their gazes instantly fell on the battlefield of laws. There was only one explanation. The first Emperor Zhao to attain the Tao was a fake. A second Emperor Zhao? Impossible. The perfected immortal of the monster clan had an ugly expression, and even a look of disbelief appeared on his face. The other perfected immortals. His expression also changed drastically. Are you a fake? Impossible. This is the law of the human emperor. Other than the human emperor, who else can walk the law of the human emperor? The perfected immortal of the monster clan's eyes were cold, and he wanted to get an answer from the Emperor Zhao in front of him. He was sure that the law of the human emperor was the one who opened up the battlefield of laws. The emperors of the various clans. They all walked the path of the emperor. There was only one law. Emperor Zhao was the first human emperor of the human clan in 10,000 years. The other party must have walked the law of the human emperor. Except for the other party, it was impossible for a second person to walk the law of the human emperor. However, if the Emperor Zhao in front of them was real, then who was the second Emperor Zhao that walked out of the mother stream of laws? Thousands of clans were in chaos. The 12 perfected immortals were also in a mess. Not only that, many powerhouses of the human clan were also in a mess when they saw this scene. A second Emperor Zhao? Why would a second Emperor Zhao appear? Dan Hao felt his heart beating violently. He had a feeling. The appearance of a second Emperor Zhao would definitely bring about unpredictable changes. In the battlefield of laws, Emperor Zhao's face shattered like porcelain. Pieces of skin fell from his face, and finally, a refined face was revealed. Marquis Baiyun of the human clan greets the perfected immortals. Marquis Baiyun smiled slightly, and his face was full of joy. Marquis Baiyun. Seeing that Emperor Zhao in the battlefield of laws had turned into Marquis Baiyun, the expressions of Dan Hao and the others changed drastically. That's right. From the beginning of the battle until now, Marquis Baiyun had never appeared. But the situation was critical. No one thought too much about it. Until now, when they saw Marquis Baiyun appear, they finally understood where Marquis Baiyun was. However, no one had expected that the Marquis of Northern Cloud would attain the Tao. The first to reach the Tao is Marquis Baiyun, and the second to reach the Tao is Emperor Zhao. In the nine-headed mystic realm, the Dog Emperor took a deep breath, and then a carefree smile appeared on his face. Haha, Demon Emperor, you also have a day like this. 12 perfected immortals took action, but in the end, they only stopped Marquis Baiyun. Ha ha ha, how many perfected immortals do you have? Can you still stop Emperor Zhao from reaching the Tao? This wave of operations, the Dog Emperor really didn't expect. The first to reach the Tao was Marquis Baiyun, not Emperor Zhao. The appearance of the other party. It directly attracted the 12 perfected immortals of the myriad races. To be able to achieve such an effect, it was all because Marquis Baiyun walked the Tao of the human emperor. Therefore, no one doubted whether Marquis Baiyun was real or not. And in the eyes of the myriad races, from the beginning to the end, the human clan hadn't produced a third powerhouse who was at the 10th level of the celestial being realm or above. Therefore, either the Qin Emperor or the Zhao Emperor had attained the Tao. Besides that, it was impossible for a third powerhouse to reach the Tao. The appearance of Marquis Baiyun was completely beyond their expectations. Marquis Baiyun reached the Dao at this time to use himself to exchange for Emperor Zhao's chance to reach the Dao. Ben Huang really admires such decisiveness, but unfortunately, Marquis Baiyun is going to die in the end. It's a pity that I can't meet such a powerhouse. The Dog Emperor shook his head. In his opinion, Marquis Baiyun was dead for sure. The 12 perfected immortals would definitely not give him a chance to live. But this way, on the side of the human clan, Emperor Zhao's chances of success would greatly increase. Kill him. The perfected immortals of the God clan were gloomy. They had suffered a huge loss this time. The 12 perfected immortals entered the battlefield of rules, but they intercepted the wrong person. What they could do now was to kill Marquis Baiyun as soon as possible, and then use the remaining strength to break into Emperor Zhao's battlefield of rules and kill him too. However, everyone could understand that the possibility of this was very slim, because the longer they delayed, the more powerful the Thunder Tribulation was. As long as Emperor Zhao deliberately walked slowly and delayed the opening of the battlefield of rules, these perfected immortals would be killed by the Thunder Tribulation. For this, the 12 perfected immortals were really furious. Haha, you don't have the qualifications to kill me. Just as the 12 perfected immortals were about to make a move, Marquis Baiyun's aura surged, and his cold gaze fell on them. The next moment, the long river of rules surged. A terrifying force filled the entire battlefield of rules. Then, boom, the long river of laws shattered with a loud bang, exploding all of a sudden like an explosive. In an instant, the mother river of rules shook. Heaven and earth shook. The terrifying force instantly swallowed the battlefield of rules, and then a terrifying aftershock spread out in all directions with this as the center. In front of this force, all the perfected immortals had no time to react. At this moment, blood rained down in the 3 major continents. Sorrowful thoughts emerged in the hearts of more than a dozen races. At this moment, heaven and earth were silent. No one expected that Marquis Baiyun would be so decisive, directly blowing up the entire human emperor's rules and destroying all the 12 perfected immortals. No one expected this. Marquis Baiyun had the ability to blow up the human emperor's rules. All the unpredictability added together caused the fall of the 12 perfected immortals. Blood rained down. It also caused the hearts of the powerhouses of the myriad races to be in a mess. For this, Qin Shujian had long expected this. Boom. With a single punch, the physical body of a 9th-level celestial being was shattered and he died. Then, the heaven list smashed down. A god clan's mighty figure was torn apart, and his body was directly swallowed. Until now, more than a dozen mighty figures had fallen. But Qin Shujian's body was not injured at all. No matter how many powerhouses attacked, it did not have any effect. How can Qin Shi Huang be so strong? Half-immortal. He can't be a half-immortal. Some of the powerhouses of the myriad races were about to go crazy. Nearly 200 mighty figures besieged Qin Shi Huang of the human race. In the end, not only did they not hurt him at all, but they also killed many of their allies. If he was a half-immortal, no one could believe it, because no half-immortal could be so strong. In the past 200,000 years, there had been half-immortal powerhouses in the 4 major continents. But the strongest one was a half-immortal. It was also under the joint efforts of 4 Nirvana realm powerhouses and the assistance of more than a dozen mighty figures that they killed him on the spot. After all, a half-immortal was not a real immortal. He was still in the category of celestial beings. As long as he did not transcend this category, it was impossible to truly see celestial beings as ants. However, in front of Qin Shujian, the powerhouses of the myriad races felt as if they were mere ants. You dare to invade the human race, die. Qin Shujian's palm fell, hitting a celestial being level 10 powerhouse until he spat out blood and his body shattered. 120,000 combat power. It gave him the ability to look down on all the heroes, not to mention the mighty figure in front of him. Even if a true immortal came, Qin Shujian was confident to fight against him. The myriad races of the 4 major continents. They all thought that he was in the half-immortal realm, so the sovereigns of the various races did not make a move and only let the mighty figures attack. To this, Qin Shujian was happy to see it happen. As long as he killed all the mighty figures in front of him, the power of the human race's enemy forces would definitely be reduced by half. In the long run, this was a great benefit to the human race. Thinking of this, Qin Shujian also began to use his true strength. Divine martial arts, celestial being, boom. A 30,000-foot-tall giant rose from the ground, and an ancient aura swept through the world like a wave. That abyss-like aura directly shattered the void, and the sky within 100,000 miles fell into endless darkness. Xing Yu's face was filled with fear, and she let out an ear-piercing scream. He's not a half-immortal. He's definitely not a half-immortal. Qin Huang has proven his Tao. He's a true immortal. A true immortal. This aura was definitely something that only a true immortal could possess. When the airwave swept over, Xingyu felt that she was not a celestial being level 10 powerhouse, but just an ant that had just stepped into cultivation. Instantly, a great terror surged in her heart. Without thinking, Xingyu turned around and wanted to escape. That was not a half-immortal. It was a true immortal. In front of a true immortal, no matter how many celestials there were, it was useless. They were just ants that could be easily slaughtered. If one did not become an immortal, they were still ants. This was not an empty sentence. Xingyu had spent nearly 10,000 years to cultivate to celestial being level 10. She was unwilling to die at the hands of Qin Shujian just like that. At this moment, whether it was the Alliance army or the destruction of the human race, in Xingyu's opinion, it was completely unimportant. So, she simply ran away. It was just that Xingyu wanted to escape, but Qin Shujian was not prepared to let her leave. A simple punch was thrown out. The space in front of him shattered like a mirror. Immediately after, the shattered space seemed to have been condensed, maintaining the collapsed state in front of him without any change. At the same time, Xingyu felt that the surrounding void was frozen. An endless pressure came from afar, causing her heart to beat wildly, and the threat of death immediately surged in her heart. No, Xingyu turned her head with difficulty and happened to see a fist occupying her line of sight. In front of that fist, space collapsed. Time also seemed to have stopped. Everything around her was flowing slowly. Bang! The starlight shattered and overflowed. Xingyu did not even resist and was blasted into a bloody mist by this punch. The spirit god had not yet escaped from her body and was also forcibly obliterated by this force. A celestial being level 10 powerhouse was killed like an ant by the other party. The remaining powerhouses of the myriad races looked at Qin Shujian as if they had seen a terrifying existence. He has not achieved the Tao. No matter how strong he is only a half-immortal. If we retreat now, all our previous efforts will be in vain. Today, Emperor Zhao must die, and so must Emperor Qin. The destruction of the human race is right in front of us. Kill. The fall of Xingyu shocked some of the powerhouses, but it also aroused the ferocity in some of them. Boom! A powerhouse exploded with a loud bang. The terrifying force turned the void into turbulence and directly fell on Qin Shujian's body. The self-explosion of a mighty powerhouse. The power was comparable to the full-strength attack of a Nirvana realm powerhouse. However, this kind of power only made Qin Shujian's body tremble slightly. Then, Taoist rhymes circulated around his body, dispersing all the power of the self-explosion. Not bad power. Let's see if more can blow Ben Huang to death. Qin Shujian sneered. Then, the heaven list became infinitely large and suppressed the powerhouses of the myriad races. Bang! The power of the 8-seal Tao artifact was completely stimulated. Together with Qin Shujian's current terrifying strength, more than a dozen Devis were completely suppressed and killed without being able to put up any resistance. Such a change. The expressions of the powerhouses who were watching this battle changed drastically. The ancient Buddha secret realm. The ancient Buddha Emperor's face was gloomy. How can this be? Why is Emperor Qin so strong? A half-immortal. This is definitely not the strength of a half-immortal. One change after another. Even the Emperor of the ancient Buddha clan could not remain calm. First, Marquis Baiyun achieved the Tao. He used the human Emperor's law to deceive the 12 true immortals of the various races into coming out. Then, he detonated the law, and all the true immortals died together. Now, it was Qin Shujian again. With his own strength, he killed nearly 200 mighty powerhouses. For a moment, anger rose in the ancient Buddha Emperor's heart, but soon, a sense of powerlessness came, making him look helpless. Then, he looked at the deep valley of the ancient Buddha secret realm. There were 2 stone men there. Originally, there were 3 stone men, but when Marquis Bayun attained the Tao, a true immortal had already walked out. The remaining 2 stone men were the last trump card of the ancient Buddha clan. Emperor Qin should not have attained the Tao yet, but with such strength, he has reached the level of a heavenly being killing immortals. Like me, he walks the path of power. If I attain the Tao, he will definitely take action to stop me. The ancient Buddha Emperor was hesitant. He had to admit that his strength was not as good as Qin Shujian's. If he encountered Qin Shujian's obstruction when he attained the Tao, without external help, he would fail to attain the Tao. The 2 true immortals of the ancient Buddha clan. This was the ancient Buddha Emperor's confidence. Qin Shujian must be killed, but not all of them will be killed by the ancient Buddha clan. Thinking of this, with a thought, the ancient Buddha Emperor's divine consciousness turned into a stream of light and fled. In the territory of the human clan, the array covered the area, isolating all the aftershocks outside. Outside the array, Qin Shujian relied on his own strength to fight against the experts of tens of thousands of races, and then fought and killed more than 30 almighties, including a 10th stage heavenly being expert. His momentum was unparalleled. In the sky, the real Emperor Zhao attained the Tao and officially opened the battlefield of laws. At this moment, no true immortals immediately stopped him. However, the peace did not last long. 10 terrifying forces rose from the 4 continents. The blood-red thunder tribulation descended again. 10 rivers of laws forcibly broke into the battlefield of laws and blocked Emperor Zhao's path. At this moment, Qin Shujian killed an almighty with a punch, and then shouted angrily, "Please fulfill your promise." After that, in the Western Prefecture, a true immortal of the 9-headed dog clan walked out and laughed loudly. "Emperor Qin, don't worry. Since our clan has already agreed, we will not go back on our words. After 270,000 years, we finally have a chance to come out." The rivers of laws extended from under their feet to the sky, and then broke into the battlefield of laws. At the same time, another 4 true immortals walked out from the 4 continents and entered the battlefield of laws. They were the reinforcements that Qin Shujian had found. The Earthen Dragons. Emperor Earth looked at the scene in front of him and did not hesitate for too long. Soon, a true immortal of the Earthen Dragons also walked out and entered the battlefield of laws. Soon, a great battle broke out in the battlefield of laws. The time for a true immortal to come out was limited. No one dared to delay anything. Now, 6 true immortals came out from the human clan, and 10 true immortals came out from the myriad clans. The battle had just begun. The human clan was at a disadvantage. I've long heard that those below the true immortal realm are like ants. Today, Ben Huang will witness it. Emperor Zhao held a jade seal in his hand and suppressed one of the true immortals. The rivers of laws shook violently. That true immortal did not retreat and punched at the jade seal. A terrifying force erupted. The jade seal trembled slightly, but the true immortal's fist faintly cracked, and his body was also pushed back by the force. But soon, the wound on his fist healed. The true immortal took a step forward and charged at Emperor Zhao again. At the same time, another 2 true immortals joined forces to attack Emperor Zhao. 3 true immortals. At their peak, they were powerhouses in the lower 3 tiers. After being sealed for hundreds of thousands of years, their strength could no longer be maintained at the level of a true immortal. Even so, they were still stronger than ordinary half-immortals. That was also true. The 3 true immortals were equivalent to 3 half-immortals joining forces. The power they unleashed was enough to make one's expression change. Emperor Zhao's expression was also solemn. One of them held the jade seal in his hand, and the human clan's providence shook as he forcefully suppressed a true immortal. Then, he punched forward. A terrifying fist energy enveloped the void, trying to devour the remaining two true immortals. Good timing. One of the true immortals shouted angrily and also punched out. The two fists collided, and endless aftershocks spread out. Immediately, stormy waves rose in the rivers of laws, as if they were going to drown all the living beings who disturbed the peace of the rivers of laws. The forces destroyed each other. The remaining true immortal pierced the void with his finger, and the energy finger directly bombarded Emperor Zhao's body. Boom! An energy shield rose, but it immediately shattered. The Zhao Emperor groaned and took a step back. His body also started to crack. In the next instant, his body recovered. Emperor Zhao waved his hand, and a myriad of energy shattered the void. A great battle broke out in the rivers of laws. The nine-headed dog clan's true immortal was very strong. He blocked two true immortals on his own. The remaining true immortals who attacked each of the 10,000 true immortals each blocked one of the 10,000 true immortals. As for the others, Emperor Zhao took all of them on his own. So powerful. The Dog Emperor was constantly paying attention to the changes in the battle. The nine-headed dog clan had invested a lot in this battle. Almost all of their mighty figures had been mobilized. Even the only true immortal in their clan had joined the battle. If the human clan lost, the nine-headed dog clan would lose everything. However, since the start of the battle, the human clan had been constantly changing. Now, Emperor Zhao's strength was even more shocking. A half-immortal. He blocked 3 ancient true immortals. With such strength, even if he had not reached the level of a true immortal, he was not far from it. In the Dog Emperor's opinion, the human clan had Emperor Zhao and Qin Shujian. Even if they did not have a true immortal, it was still better than having one. In the human clan's territory, Qin Shujian suppressed the 10,000 true immortals. At this moment, more than half of them had fallen. After using lawful embodiment of heaven and earth, his combat power soared to 240,000. A punch and a finger. It could shatter the galaxy and space-time. Any mighty cultivator in front of such power was as weak as an ant. After all, a Nirvana Realm powerhouse's normal combat power was only around 30,000. A 10th-tier Heaven Realm powerhouse's combat power was only around 20,000. Such a difference, a total of 24 times. A one-fold difference in combat power was already terrifying. A 24-fold difference in combat power was even more impossible to make up for. Even if a mighty figure called upon the power of the laws to amplify it, there was no way to close the distance at all. Therefore, from the start of the battle, it was a one-sided massacre. Retreat. When the 10,000 true immortals saw Qin Shujian shatter another mighty figure's body, they finally could not maintain their calm. A look of horror appeared on their faces, and they fled without thinking. There was a first to escape. Then there was a second. At this point in the battle, every powerhouse who was still holding on had their essence, energy, and spirit reached a limit. More than half of the powerhouses on their side had fallen, but the enemy was not injured at all. In this way, it was impossible for their mentality not to collapse. So, the 10,000 true immortals fled. At the same time, the void collapsed and Xiyang fell from it. His body was shattered and blood flowed non-stop. The heavenly saint walked out and was about to kill Xiyang. In the end, instead, he saw a huge fist coming towards him. There was no reaction. The heavenly saint exploded in front of the fist, and the spirit god's flesh and blood were instantly obliterated by the terrifying power. Xiyang's face was blank. He looked at the heavenly saint, who was only left with a bloody mist, and then looked at the surrounding scene. He had yet to react to what had happened. He thought that he was going to die. In the end, he did not die, but the heavenly saint fell. Xiyang fell into a state of daze. Swallow him. A familiar voice sounded in his ears, and then he saw a stream of light flying towards him. Xiyang instinctively reached out to grab it. The stream of light dissipated, and in its place was a pill that swallowed spiritual energy. Seeing the back of Qin Shujian chasing after the powerhouses, he did not hesitate and swallowed the pill. Suddenly, a powerful energy emerged from his body. His cracked body recovered at a speed visible to the naked eye. It only took 2 or 3 breaths of time. Xiyang had completely recovered. Feeling that he had completely recovered his strength, his face was both blank and shocked. What kind of pill is this? How can the effect be so strong? He did not understand. But Shiyang was not shocked for long. It was a good thing that his physical body had recovered. Now that the battle had not stopped, and his strength had recovered, it meant that he could exert more power. Shiyang took a step forward, and the ancient bronze sword slashed down, directly intercepting a powerhouse in the 8th level of the celestial being realm. Since you're already here, why are you leaving? There was a faint smile on his face, but it was full of killing intent. Boom! With his own strength, the Black Emperor completely suppressed the Sky Martial Emperor and the God Clan High Priest. No matter what, he was also the Emperor of the Black Rock Condor race, the strongest powerhouse in the Western state, second only to the Demon Emperor. Although the Sky Martial Emperor and the God Clan High Priest were powerhouses in the 10th level of the Celestial Being realm, but in terms of true strength, they were still 1 or 2 levels weaker than the Black Emperor. Even if the two of them joined forces, they could not completely make up for this gap. However, the location of the two of them was not in the human territory, but in the Western state. At this moment, the void suddenly shattered. Qin Shujian walked out from it and slashed down at one of them. It was originally a normal palm, but when it slashed down, it seemed to condense all the light in the world, turning into a shocking unsheathed divine weapon. The God Clan High Priest's mind shook wildly. He looked up and saw the blade light that occupied the world. Without any hesitation, he directly left the Black Emperor and fled into the distance. However, the God Clan High Priest fled quickly, but the blade light came even faster. Boom! The blade light flashed past, tearing the sky and splitting the earth. The God Clan High Priest's body was directly cut in half by the blade light and fell from the sky. What? The Emperor was shocked. Seeing that the God Clan High Priest was killed on the spot without any ability to fight back, he no longer cared about fighting the Black Emperor and fled frantically toward the northern state. But just as he fled 1,000 miles, he saw a heaven list descend. His body exploded. The spiritual deity was annihilated. The power of the heaven list swept across and absorbed all the flesh and blood. In the next moment, it appeared in Qin Shujian's hands. Qin, Emperor Qin. The Black Emperor stuttered when he spoke, looking at Qin Shujian in front of him. He felt his little heart trembling violently. Strong without any reason. When the Emperor and Yuan Feng joined forces, their strength was not much weaker than his. Although he could suppress the other party now, the Black Emperor did not have any confidence in killing him. But in front of Qin Shujian, the two of them were like ants, easily killed on the spot. This kind of strength, the Black Emperor felt that he was still too insignificant. Even though he already knew that Qin Shujian was very strong, he never thought that it would be to this extent. Qin Shujian said in a low voice, "Black Rock Condor Clan, attack the Yao Clan with all your strength." Attack the Yao Clan? The Black Emperor was stunned. He never thought that Qin Shujian would give such an order. Although many of the Yao Clan's powerful cultivators had died, there were still powerful cultivators like the Yao Emperor. There might be other true immortals left. Attacking the Yao Clan now? The Black Emperor almost thought that this Emperor Qin wanted him to die. Qin Shujian said, "Ben Huang will let the 9-headed Hound Clan attack together. Now that 2 true immortals have appeared, even if there are true immortals left, there won't be many left. Plus, more than half of the Yao Clan's powerful cultivators have died. The 2 remaining great saints have also fallen. With the strength of the 2 clans, there might be a chance of winning against the Yao Clan." At this point, Qin Shujian paused, then continued, "And Ben Huang will let other powerful cultivators of the human clan help. Now that the Yao Clan's strength has been greatly reduced, the destruction of the Yao Clan is at this moment. The Black Emperor and the Yao Clan have been fighting for so many years, it's already an old war. You won't let go of such an opportunity, right?" Hearing this, the Black Emperor wanted to say that he could let go of this hatred. But when he met Qin Shujian's indifferent eyes, he immediately swallowed his words. In front of this Emperor Qin, the Black Emperor still didn't dare to say anything against him. Ben Huang obeys. But is Emperor Qin not going to make a move? He keenly captured the meaning behind Qin Shujian's words. Hearing this, Qin Shujian said with a cold smile, Ben Huang naturally has his own plans. In the next moment, he had already turned around and returned to the human clan's territory. At this moment, the formation still existed, but the powerful cultivators of the 10,000 clans had already scattered and fled after leaving hundreds of corpses behind. Boom! A huge demon fell from the sky, causing the ground to tremble. Xiang walked down from the void and bowed to Qin Shujian. Emperor Qin. At this moment, facing Qin Shujian, he no longer had the slightest bit of arrogance. Qin Shujian nodded slightly, then raised his head to look at the sky. The battlefield of rules still existed there, and the true immortals were fighting fiercely. Emperor Zhao was fighting 1 against 3, and he was also heavily injured. From the looks of the situation, the human clan had already fallen into a disadvantageous position. However, it was unlikely that the outcome would be decided in a short period of time. All celestial being cultivators, except for the city lords of the 4 cities, immediately head to the western state to attack the Yao clan. Qin Shujian's voice covered the entire human clan's territory. Immediately, many celestial being cultivators rose into the air. We obey the emperor's orders. Fire Saint, Jizhou, Pasan, Qin Shujian said 3 more names. Flowing light burst forth. The 3 of them had already appeared in front of Qin Shujian. The 3 of you are the same. Follow the army to eliminate the Yao clan. Qin Shujian's expression was indifferent. Then, he looked at Fire Saint and said, if the Vermilion Bird clan wants to submit, this is your last chance? I understand. Fire Saint's heart trembled, and he hurriedly lowered his head to accept the order. In this battle, 2 great sages of the demon race had died, as well as a large number of powerful experts. It could be said that, now, the Yao clan's strength had been greatly reduced. At this time, perhaps it was really a matter of life and death for the Yao clan. If the Vermilion Bird clan could not submit to the human clan, with this Emperor Qin's ruthlessness, there would be no trace of the Vermilion Bird clan in the world. Xiyang, please give your orders, Emperor Qin. Qin Shujian took out the heaven list and said, you take Ben Huang's heaven list and lead the human clan to the Yao clan. If a true immortal attacks, you can use the heaven list to suppress the enemy. Hearing this, Xiyang respectfully took the heaven list with both hands. I obey the emperor's orders. Go. Qin Shujian waved his hand. Suddenly, all the human clan experts walked out of the territory and headed for the western state. At the same time, the Black Stone Condor clan, the 9-headed dog clan, they were also leading experts to the Yao clan's territory. This time, the emperors of the 2 clans also personally took action. The earthly dragons. When the 2 clans took action, the Emperor of Earth also immediately received the news. His face was gloomy and uncertain. My emperor, the human clan sent a message. Should we take action? Below, the elder of the earthly dragons cupped his hands and said. Hearing this, the Emperor of Earth did not reply. Should he take action? This was a difficult choice. If it was in the past, when a clan attacked the Yao clan, and there was a certain chance of winning, the Emperor of Earth would never hesitate to take action. But now, the Emperor of Earth hesitated and also hesitated. There was only one reason. The human clan was too strong. No, it should be said that Emperor Qin was too strong. He was so strong that he could reverse the entire situation by himself. With such a strong expert in the human clan, it was inevitable that they would rise in the future. And from the Emperor of Earth's point of view, Qin Shujian was overbearing and his methods were extremely tough. If there was a chance, he would definitely not guard the hundreds of thousands of miles of the human clan's territory. Instead, he would reach out to other continents. For the Emperor of Earth, any powerful force that might have a hand in the Western state was not what he wanted. Previously, he let the true immortal take action. He was just fulfilling his original promise. After all, this was something that had already been made. The Emperor of Earth had no possibility of going back on his word. However, from the perspective of the earthly dragons, the Emperor of Earth did not want the Yao clan to be destroyed because of this. Because once the Yao clan was destroyed, The Black Rock Condor clan and the Nine-Headed Dog clan would stand on the side of the human clan. What force in the western state could fight against the human clan? When that time came, the Nine-Headed Dog clan would probably have to bow their heads. However, if he did not take action, he would definitely offend the human clan this time. Judging from the current situation, the success rate of Emperor Zhao's Dao validation was not low, and the human clan had this Emperor Qi. No matter how he looked at it, the situation was great. Immediately, the Emperor of Earth fell into an incomparable dilemma. But soon, he came back to his senses, took a deep breath, looked at the other elders in the main hall, and issued his order. Pass down Ben Huang's order. The entire clan will immediately attack the Yao clan. Yes, all the earthly dragon's elders bowed and accepted the order. The Emperor of Earth looked at the leaving crowd and sighed deeply. He never thought the situation would develop to this point. Under the rolling momentum, even if the earthly dragons wanted to struggle out, there was no possibility. In that case, they could only fight. The Emperor of Earth's mind gradually turned cold and then disappeared from the main hall. On this day, the human clan experts all left the human clan's territory, formed an alliance with the three major clans of the western state, and attacked the Yao clan. The situation changed rapidly. It developed into a situation that no one had expected. At this moment, Qin Shujian stepped on the long river of rules and had already arrived in front of the divine clan's territory. P.S. This chapter has 12,000 words, which is to make up for the lack of words in the previous chapter. Please vote. Chapter 654. The allied forces of all clans. More than 200 powerful figures attacked the human clan. In the end, most of the powerful figures were defeated by Emperor Qin of the human clan. Now, the human clan joined forces with the other clans to counterattack. The battle that had just calmed down started again. Such a turn of events. It was beyond the expectations of the other clans. At the beginning of the battle, the other clans thought that the human clan was doomed this time. However, the strength that Qin Shujian displayed made their jaws drop. Half immortal. No, his strength was comparable to that of a true immortal. At this moment, the human clan was attacking the demon clan. Most of the clans in the Western Prefecture were hesitant. Help or not? This was a problem. Although the demon clan used to be the overlord of the Western Prefecture, they were not strong enough to suppress the entire Western Prefecture. Some clans that were unwilling to rely on the demon clan. They could still survive in the Western Prefecture without worrying about being persecuted. Looking at the human clan, they were too strong. If the human clan destroyed the demon clan, no other clan in the Western Prefecture could compete with the human clan. However, if they helped the demon clan, it was equivalent to becoming the enemy of the human clan. Emperor Qin. No other clan had the confidence to compete with him. Therefore, the clans in the Western Prefecture were in a wait-and-see attitude. North Continent, Blood Spirit Secret Realm. Xueling Huang was watching the battle in the battlefield of rules. From the beginning of the battle until now, the Thunder Tribulation had become very strong. Those true immortals who participated in the battle had almost reached the limit. Emperor Zhao's attainment of the Dao can't be stopped? Xueling Huang murmured to himself. Judging from the current situation, he was not sure if he could stop Emperor Zhao's attainment of the Dao. However, Shui Eldar could not bring out more resources now. From the beginning until now, Shui Eldar sent out two true immortals. The first true immortal was killed by Marquis Baiyun. The second true immortal was now fighting in the battlefield of rules. After a while, Xueling Huang turned his head and looked in the direction of the human clan's territory. His expression became serious. Celestial beings slaying immortals. There shouldn't be many cultivators who could do this in ancient times. The Qin Emperor alone was able to beat back the mighty cultivators of the various clans. His strength is not much weaker than a true immortal of the lower three levels. The human race has already stepped out of the eastern continent. Now, Nirvana Realm cultivators are no longer qualified to become supreme experts. In the future, it will be the world of true immortals. If you don't become an immortal, you'll be nothing but an ant. Bloody Ling Huang sighed. Subsequently, He took a step forward, and the long river of laws trembled. In the blink of an eye, he had already disappeared from the spot. The next moment, the mother stream of rules flowed. A long river of laws was opened up from the mother stream, and Xueling Huang steadily walked out from it. He had already entered the stage of Tao attainment. This was the second reason why the emperors of the various clans stayed behind in the secret realm. If they failed to destroy the human race, and there was no way to stop Emperor Zhao from achieving the Great Path, the other emperors would also take advantage of this opportunity to achieve the Great Path. At Xueling Huang's level of cultivation, he actually had a chance to attain the Tao long ago. However, Bloodling Huang had been suppressing his own realm all this time. He didn't want to be the one to stand out, because he was very clear. The first cultivator to attain the Tao could not be a blood Eldar, nor could it be from any other race. The first to attain the Tao, it had to be the human race. This way, the various clans could work together to deal with the human race without having to worry about being stabbed in the back by other races. Therefore, not only was Xueling Huang suppressing his own realm, the other powerhouses of the various clans were also suppressing their own realms. Until this moment, seeing that they were about to fail in stopping Emperor Zhao from attaining the Tao, they truly took this step forward. Rumble, as Xueling Huang walked out of the mother stream of rules, he saw the sky trembling violently again. One long river of laws after another opened up from the mother stream of rules. Attainment. Another powerhouse has attained the Tao. Hiss, that's Xueling Huang. That's the ancient Buddha Emperor. And that's the Min Mountain Emperor. The powerhouses who walked out of the mother stream of rules were all recognized by the various clans. At this moment, all the emperors attained the Tao. In the battlefield of rules, the lightning tribulation of rules had reached a terrifying level. Finally, some true immortals of the myriad clans could not withstand the pressure, but when their bodies were worn down by the lightning tribulation of rules, they exploded with a bang. True immortals self-destructed. The power could be said to be devastating. The long river of rules shook. The river water rose tens of thousands of feet high, and then smashed down heavily, engulfing several true immortals. However, when the river water came into contact with Emperor Zhao, it did not cause any harm. Because this was his rule. No matter how turbulent the river water was, it would not hurt the controller of the rules. Although Emperor Zhao had not completely left his imprint on the rule monument, but opening up the battlefield of rules was already a candidate for controller in the eyes of the rules, similar to the sacred ground saint. Under such circumstances, there was not much difference. The self-destruction of the true immortals of the myriad clans directly dragged Dragon Jinxian, who was fighting with him, into the water. Instantly, 2 true immortals died. Emperor Earth's heart palpitated. Looking at the blood rain floating down from the sky, he also understood what was going on. With the first true immortal self-destructing, there would be a second one. The myriad clan's goal. The main purpose was to stop Emperor Zhao from achieving the Tao. Now that the normal way could not be done, they would use the most extreme way to solve the problem. No matter what, they had to die. Since that was the case, it was better to self-destruct and drag Emperor Zhao down with him. At the very least, shattering the long river of rules could also greatly reduce the other party's strength after achieving the Tao. Boom! Another true immortal self-destructed. The destiny of the human race on the Imperial Jade Seal surged, turning into a solid barrier to protect Emperor Zhao. However, the barrier only lasted for a few breaths of time before it shattered with a bang. Then, Emperor Zhao took out a few more Tao artifacts and threw them out. In front of this power, the Tao artifacts were directly destroyed. In the end, the power hit his body, causing his sturdy body to crack. He was forced to retreat. The first true immortal self-destructed. Then, the second true immortal pounced forward and self-destructed. Terrifying power. It caused half of Emperor Zhao's body to shatter. The long river of rules surged wildly, and tens of thousands of feet high waves suddenly rose, directly knocking the last true immortal down. Half of his body shattered. Emperor Zhao's aura was dispirited, and his flesh and blood were regenerating to recover from his injuries. However, the power of the true immortal's self-destruction wrapped around his body like gangrene attached to the bone, constantly grinding away the new flesh and blood. In the end, Emperor Zhao took out 2 pills and directly swallowed them. Hallow pills. This was the healing treasure that Qin Shujian had sent to Emperor Zhao on a trip to Zhongzhou's imperial city after successfully refining it. 2 10th-tier pills entered his stomach. A powerful force surged out of Emperor Zhao's body, and then this new force resisted the aftermath of the true immortal's self-destruction. Gradually, the true immortal's power was worn away, and his body was also regenerated. Until now, only 3 of the 16 true immortals who participated in the battle were left. But not for long. As one true immortal self-destructed, the remaining 2 true immortals were completely wiped out by the power of the self-destruction and the lightning tribulation of rules. Until now, a total of 28 true immortals had fallen. Emperor Zhao looked at the rule monument in front of him and was already walking forward. At this moment, no other powerhouses came to stop him. South Continent, Qin Shujian arrived at the God Clan's territory. It was also at this time that the emperors achieved the Tao. He raised his head and looked in the direction of North Continent. Then, he raised his gaze and saw a person in the long river of rules. His eyes were full of coldness. The ancient Buddha Emperor. The ancient Buddha clan followed the rules of power, and the other party wanted to take this opportunity to achieve the Tao. However, Qin Shujian did not immediately stop him because he had more important things to do. He took a step forward. The power of true essence erupted and covered the entire God Clan's territory. All of a sudden, a powerful aura rose from below, and blood clouds lingered in the sky, indicating that another true immortal had appeared. Then, a beam of cold light blasted over, obliterating the power that had enveloped the territory of the Protoss. Then, the void cracked. A white-robed man with a decaying aura walked out of the God Clan's secret realm and landed in front of Qin Shujian. Full moon of the God Clan greets, Emperor Qin, you want to stop Bin Huang? Qin Shujian clasped his hands behind his back, showing no fear toward the true immortal in front of him. Instead, his aura became even more powerful. The true immortal attacked. This was already within his expectations. The Divine Emperor should be clear about his strength. At this time, if he did not let the true immortal attack, the God Clan would have no one to contend with him. The full moon said calmly, I am from the God Clan, so I can't just sit and watch the God Clan perish. Emperor Qin, why do you have to be the enemy of the God Clan? If you don't retreat now, I can guarantee that the God Clan will not take the initiative to be the enemy of the human clan in the future. There is one thing that you may not understand. Qin Shujian shook his head, then looked at the full moon with contempt, a sneer on his face. There has never been a God Clan. You are just traitors of the human clan. Compared to the other clans, traitors like you are more hateful. So you don't have to speak so righteously. A traitor is a traitor. Even if you put on a coat, you can't get rid of your identity and the fact that you are a traitor. After the end of the ancient times, you betrayed the human clan and ignored the difficulties of the human clan. This is the first crime. After betraying the human clan, you joined the other clans and defected to the enemy. This is the second crime. You betrayed the human clan and became the enemy of the human emperor. This is the third crime. The 3 crimes should be punished together. You should die. In the end, Qin Shujian's cold eyes fell on the full moon, and he shouted in a deep voice, Today, as the human emperor, I kill all traitors of the human clan. Full moon, if you still remember the blood of the human clan flowing in your body, you should kill yourself on the spot. The full moon was silent. He did not answer, but he did not take any action to kill himself. At this time, another momentum rose in the secret realm of the God Clan. The mother stream of rules shook. A rule was opened up from it. The Divine Emperor walked out from it and was already on the path to becoming the Tao. Such a change. Naturally, it could not escape Qin Shujian's attention. The Divine Emperor is becoming the Tao. He instantly understood the purpose of the full moon. To intercept him. To buy enough time for the God Clan and for the Divine Emperor to successfully become the Tao. As long as the Divine Emperor became the Tao, with a perfected immortal, the God Clan would not be destroyed. The full moon spoke slowly, and his voice was still calm. It's useless to say more. You should retreat. Emperor Qin. The separation of the God clan from the human clan is recognized by heaven and earth. Since 800,000 years ago, the blood flowing in our bodies is no longer the blood of the human clan, but the blood of the God clan. If you retreat now, the God clan and the human clan will not invade each other. Are you sure you can stop Bin Huang? Emperor Qin is very powerful. I am not sure I can defeat him, but it is not a problem to stop him. The full moon spoke the truth. As soon as he finished, the void cracked. Qin Shujian punched out. The terrifying fist aura shattered the void and turned the space within 10,000 miles into turbulence. In the face of such an attack, the full moon stretched out his jade-like palm and directly smoothed out all the fluctuations. The power of a perfected immortal is not something you can imagine. It is not that easy to kill an immortal. He shook his head slightly. The full moon did not have the confidence to take down Qin Shujian. The reason was that it had been sealed for too long, and its strength had fallen. In addition, the other party was also very powerful. Under the threat of the thunder calamity, it was not easy to suppress him. However, this did not mean that the full moon was afraid of Qin Shujian. As a perfected immortal, he also had his own pride. Is that so? Qin Shujian suddenly smiled and took a step forward. Boom! The lawful embodiment of heaven and earth was used. His combat strength soared to 240,000. Another step forward. The rule of strength descended. His combat strength soared to 420,000. Then, another step forward. The rule of alchemy descended. His combat strength soared to 720,000. The rule of forging descended. The rule of array descended. For steps forward, the rule of 4 descended. The increase reached 6 times. At this moment, Qin Shujian's combat strength soared to 840,000. His aura was as powerful as the abyss. Without any movement, it suppressed the world and shattered the sky. What do you think of Bin Huang's current strength? Qin Shujian looked at the full moon with a smile on his face. He twisted his neck. The space around his head collapsed again. Since comprehending the rule of forging and the rule of array Dao, this was the first time Qin Shujian had displayed all his strength. That terrifying aura. It directly changed the expression of the true immortal from the God clan. He could no longer maintain his calm. That's impossible. How could your battle strength become so high? For rules, you haven't become an immortal yet, but you dare to walk 4 rules at the same time. The full moon was shocked. For rules, he never thought that Qin Shujian would walk 4 rules at the same time, and the other party had succeeded. The power of the rule of amplification. It made him feel as if he was not facing a celestial cultivator, but a perfected immortal at his peak. The aura was like the abyss. The full moon felt its body trembling slightly. The current him, facing such an expert, he had no confidence at all. Only when he was at his peak. Only then would he have the confidence to fight. However, hundreds of thousands of years had passed. The second-level immortal at his peak had been worn down by countless years and could still retain some of his strength. At this moment, the full moon was afraid. He was not afraid that he would die. From the moment he walked out of the sealed land, he had never thought of living. What the full moon was truly afraid of was that the God clan would cause destruction. Yes, destruction. When Qin Shujian revealed all his trump cards, the full moon seemed to have seen the scene of the God clan's destruction. With his current strength, he could not stop Qin Shujian. Even if a divine emperor became an immortal, he might not have the strength. Thinking of this, the full moon said with difficulty, if the God clan is willing to surrender to the human clan, Emperor Qin may let the God clan live. This perfected immortal was begging, looking at Qin Shujian with eyes full of hope. Qin Shujian took out the God Slayer from his sea of consciousness, his expression indifferent. From the moment you betrayed the human clan, there was no turning back. You should know better than Bin Huang what the consequences of betrayal are. If the God clan betrays you, I'm afraid you won't be lenient. As soon as he finished speaking, the Godslayer slashed out. This was the first time Qin Shujian had fully activated the power of the Godslayer. All the vital essence contained in his body was gathered on the stone knife. The moment the stone knife slashed out, a vast and ancient aura swept out. This knife, it seemed to have shattered heaven and earth, but also seemed to have cut off time and space. In front of this knife, no existence could stop it, not even a perfected immortal. All the God Clan cultivators involuntarily raised their heads at this time, wanting to see what was going on with this knife. In the void, the full moon had just raised his hand, but it fell down powerlessly. Boom! His body was divided into two, and then slowly worn out by Zhu Bing's power. A rain of blood poured down in the South Continent. In the God Clan's territory, all the cultivators who raised their heads to see the knife had their eyes dead. When the breeze blew by, they disappeared without a trace like sandstorms. This knife, not only did it kill a perfected immortal, but it also killed all the cultivators who witnessed it. Zhu Bing's power was as deep as the abyss and hell. However, Qin Shujian had used up a lot of vital essence to make this knife slash with all his might, but he didn't care. After taking out a hallow pill and swallowing it, he completely recovered. Then, he tore open the God Clan's secret realm and entered it. In the outer God Clan territory, all the living beings died under the power of the Godslayer. The only place where the God Clan still existed was probably in the secret realm. At this time, the God Clan in the secret realm panicked. Some weak God Clan members were so scared that their souls had left their bodies. Seeing Qin Shujian arrive, many God Clan members knelt down and begged for mercy, weeping bitterly. For the sake of being a fellow human, please let me live. Emperor Qin, I'm willing to surrender. I'm willing to return to the human race. Don't kill me. Don't kill me. They were also afraid of death. In other words, there was no living being who wasn't afraid of death, whether it was the God Clan or the human race. At this moment, nothing mattered to them. As long as they could live, they could abandon everything else. Qin Shujian's expression was indifferent as he looked down at the many God Clan members below. Being born as a god is the greatest sin you have ever committed. As soon as he finished speaking, his aura exploded. In an instant, the God Clan's secret realm collapsed, and the mountains and rivers collapsed. All the God Clan cultivators below the divinity level were crushed into powder under the suppression of this aura. Only a few divinity-level cultivators survived. A God Clan elder cried out in grief, pointing at Qin Shujian and cursing, "You executioner, even if I die, I won't let you go." As soon as he finished speaking, a terrifying force descended, causing his physical body to explode and his divine spirit to be obliterated. Then, Qin Shujian threw out another punch, covering all the God Clan divinities in it. 840,000 combat power. The divinities were just ants that could be destroyed with a wave of his hand. At this point, in the God Clan's secret realm, there were no longer any living cultivators. From beginning to end, Qin Shujian's expression was indifferent. In private, to deal with the rebels, he naturally had to kill them all. In public, there was no right or wrong in the war between the races. So, no matter how one looked at it, the God Clan would undoubtedly be destroyed. Just as all the living beings of the God Clan died, the Emperor God's heart ached. In just an instant, he understood what had happened. Immediately, the Emperor God roared in grief and indignation, "Emperor Qin, you dare to destroy the God Clan. From now on, Ben Huang will not rest until you die." He never expected. The plenilune had already been unsealed. Why couldn't it stop Qin Shujian's footsteps? The other party's strength. Was he so powerful that even a true immortal couldn't stop him? The Emperor God couldn't believe it. But, no matter how unwilling he was to believe it, the truth was the truth. Everything had happened, and the God Clan's providence had also reflected everything. So, the Emperor God also knew that all the members of the God Clan had died. At this moment, his heart was already occupied by hatred. As the Emperor of the God Clan, he had to avenge the fallen members of his clan. When Ben Huang proves his Tao and becomes an immortal, I will use the blood of billions of humans to wash away the hatred of the God Clan. Ben Huang will not rest until you die. The Emperor God's eyes were incomparably cold. Now that the battlefield of rules had opened, it was only a matter of time before he became an immortal. At the same time, There wouldn't be any experts from other forces coming to stop him. Because of the path he took, the Emperor God had already killed all the experts who conflicted with his own rules. Now, this path, only he could walk alone. According to the original agreement, the myriad races couldn't release a true immortal to stop him now. As for the human clan, the Emperor God could now be sure that there were no true immortals. Otherwise, when Emperor Zhao achieved his Tao, there would have been a true immortal. Because of this, he had great confidence in his Tao at this moment. At the end of the long river of rules, a monument was erected in the middle of it. The Emperor God stepped on the long river of rules. With every step he took, the aura on his body became stronger, and his body was also undergoing subtle changes. Under the support of hatred, although he was the last expert to walk the path of Tao, however, his speed was much faster than any other cultivator. He would destroy all the God Clan. Qin Shujian didn't pluck the spirit vein in the God Clan's secret realm, nor did he touch the entire secret realm for the time being. Instead, he turned around and left. In the outside world, the Emperor God was only half the distance to the Rule Monument. Do you want to achieve Tao and take revenge? Qin Shujian looked at the Emperor God in the long river of rules with a faint smile on his face. The Emperor God wanted to fight to the death with the human clan. Such a declaration. It had already made him feel something in his heart. It was also at this moment that the destiny of the human clan told Qin Shujian how great a threat it would be if he didn't kill the Emperor God. Are you afraid? No, you can't be afraid. As the destiny of the human clan, how can you be afraid of a small Emperor God? Qin Shujian muttered to himself. Then, he extracted the long river of rules from his sea of consciousness. Xia Yi's half of the long river of rules. The next moment, Qin Shujian borrowed the power of the long river of rules and forcefully bombarded the Emperor God's long river of rules. Instantly, the long river of rules shook. A gap appeared from within. Immediately after, a person walked out and directly blocked in front of the Emperor God. Since you want to fight to the death with the human clan, why wait until you achieve immortal ascension? Why don't you and I compete here and see who can walk to the end? Emperor Qin. The Emperor God's expression changed drastically. Qin Shujian's appearance was completely beyond his expectations. You didn't follow the Emperor God's laws. How can you enter the battlefield of rules? Impossible. The Emperor God's expression was very complicated. Disbelief, fear, hatred, anger. All kinds of emotions gathered together, making his expression extremely strange. Very soon, the Emperor God reacted. Looking at the power that broke into the battlefield of rules, his expression instantly became gloomy. You borrowed the ownerless law to enter here. In order to stop Bin Huang from achieving Tao, you are actually willing to sacrifice an ownerless law. Qin Shujian's decisiveness. It was unexpected. An ownerless law represented a path to immortal ascension. Such an opportunity. In order to stop him from achieving Tao, the other party said that he didn't want it. Seeing this, the Emperor God's heart gradually sunk. But very soon, his face revealed a cold expression. But even if you borrowed the ownerless law to enter here, you can't stop Bin Huang from achieving Tao. Don't forget, this is where Bin Huang's law is. In his battlefield of rules, unless a cultivator walked the same law, there was no possibility of borrowing the power of the law. In this way, it was equivalent to the Emperor God being able to borrow the power of the law, while Qin Shujian couldn't. This was the Emperor God's only confidence now. Your strength is strong, but without this, how much stronger can you be than Bin Huang? You'll know when you try. Qin Shujian smiled indifferently. He took a step forward. His fist shattered the galaxy and blasted toward the Emperor God. In an instant, the power of the law descended. The Emperor God erupted with terrifying power and also blasted a punch toward Qin Shujian. The two fists collided. The long river of rules surged violently. Qin Shujian took 2 steps back. His fist had already cracked, but he soon recovered. On the other side, the Emperor God's body swayed slightly. In this exchange, the winner was obvious. The Emperor God laughed loudly. In the long river of rules, Bin Huang is the strongest. You are not qualified to stop Bin Huang from achieving Tao. On the other side, Qin Shujian was not surprised by the Emperor God's strength. After walking more than half the distance in the long river of rules, the other party's physical body had already transformed to the level of a half-immortal body. In terms of combat strength, the Emperor God's combat strength had probably broken through to 200,000. However, Qin Shujian was not afraid. Looking at the Emperor God's proud expression, he took a step forward and performed lawful embodiment of heaven and earth. His combat strength soared from 120,000 to 240,000. After that, the Godslayer was taken out from his sea of consciousness. Then let Bin Huang see if you really can't stop him from achieving Tao. Boom! The Godslayer slashed out, its stone knife shooting out endless light. Terrifying power. The stimulating long river of rules stirred up waves. However, those waves were like ordinary splashes in front of the knife light. They were easily torn apart and suppressed, and then the remaining force blasted toward the Emperor God. In an instant, the Emperor God was greatly alarmed. Without thinking, he threw out a punch. The force of the punch collided with the knife light. Boom! The force of the punch was instantly annihilated, and the remaining knife light bombarded the Emperor God's body. An indelible wound appeared on the Emperor God's half-immortal body. Blood that had almost completely transformed into golden blood gushed wildly from the wound. His body instinctively wanted to heal the wound. However, there was a lingering knife chi lingering on it, constantly eroding his flesh and making it impossible for his body to recover. Your strength! The Emperor God was horrified. He had transformed into a half-immortal body. In the long river of rules, even if there were ancient true immortals blocking his path, he was confident that he could contend against them. But now, he could not even block a single strike from the other party. The Emperor God was certain. Qin Shujian clearly did not use the power of rules. He was purely relying on the strength of his body to fight the enemy. Why? Why is your body so tyrannical? The Emperor God's face was crazed, but more than that, he could not believe it. Qin Shujian smiled and said softly, "If you can take 10 strikes from Bin Huang and not die, then Bin Huang will tell you." As soon as he finished speaking, another strike of the knife was launched. The Emperor God was terrified. He wanted to flee, but there was nothing he could do. Because this was the battlefield of rules. There was no such thing as retreating in the battle of Tao Ascension. Either he succeeded, or he died. Therefore, the Emperor God had no choice but to use all of his strength to resist Qin Shujian's attack. Boom! The Godslayer slashed down. The Emperor God's body crumbled, his blood spilling into the long river of rules. Qin Shujian took a step forward and slashed again. Boom! Boom! Qin Shujian had the absolute upper hand in the battlefield of rules. He slashed out again and again, and the Emperor God had no room to fight back. When it came to the 7th strike, the Emperor God let out a final roar before he was swallowed up by the knife chi. Bang! A terrifying power erupted, and the half-immortal body was directly shattered. With the Emperor God's death, the battlefield of rules shattered. And with the Emperor God's death, the last living being of the divine race disappeared. At this point, the divine race was declared extinct. When the divine race perished, the sovereigns of all the races in the 4 great continents had the same thought. They looked toward the South Continent in horror. The divine race, annihilated. In the millions of years since the end of the ancient times, there had never been a top clan that was annihilated. Now, the divine race was annihilated. It was the first top clan to be completely annihilated in a million years. The shock brought about by this matter, compared to the fall of other ancient true immortals, the fall of the Eldar, and the Cloud Tribe, it was many times more intense. The divine race is annihilated. The earthly sovereign was extremely shocked. Not only the earthly sovereign, even the Dog Emperor and the Black Emperor could not keep calm at this time. After a long time, the Dog Emperor took a deep breath and said in a deep voice, "Now, only Emperor Qin has the ability to annihilate the divine race." If Bin Huang's guess is correct, it should be Emperor Qin who annihilated the entire divine race alone. Just now, The Dog Emperor also noticed the scene of Qin Shujian entering the long river of rules to stop the Emperor God from achieving Tao. Even the scene of the Emperor God's death did not escape their eyes. But there was one thing to know. For ordinary races and forces, sovereigns were the strongest existence. When a sovereign fell, there was a high probability that the race would be annihilated. However, this definitely did not include the top clans. This was because any of the top clans had a powerful foundation, not to mention anything else. The ancient true immortals in the seal definitely existed. In other words, in order to annihilate a top clan, one must kill the true immortals of the clan. Now that the divine race was annihilated, that indirectly proved one thing. Qin Shujian, he had the strength to kill true immortals. Thinking of how the other party fought against 200 and killed more than half of the almighty experts of the 10,000 races, causing the remaining experts to flee, the Dog Emperor sighed deeply. Celestial immortals, Emperor Qin has such strength. Hearing that, the Black Emperor and the earthly sovereign were silent. Yes, Qin Shujian had such strength. Xiang also turned his head to look at the divine race, and then retracted his gaze. He now had the heaven list in his hand. He also sensed some of the movements of the human race. So, Xiang also knew about the annihilation of the divine race. But he did not care, because the main goal of the human race now was to annihilate the demon race. Thinking of this, Xiang raised his head to look at the long river of laws again. There, Emperor Zhao had already walked more than half of the path, and was not far away from the law monument. Father is going to achieve Tao. In this way, the human race will have one true immortal, and with Emperor Qin, it is equivalent to the human race having two living true immortals. Now that the divine race has been annihilated, if we also annihilate the demon race, how many races in the 4 continents will be able to compete with the human race? Xiang understood. In this battle, the human race had officially risen. However, the joy in his heart had all turned into cold killing intent at this time. Therefore, in the territory of the demon race, they had arrived. There, many demon race experts formed an army and were waiting. Xiang shouted loudly, Emperor Qin has already annihilated the divine race. Today we will annihilate the demon race to congratulate Emperor Zhao on achieving Tao. As soon as he finished speaking, he did not use the heaven list, but directly took out the ancient bronze sword and took the lead to kill the demon race experts. As Xiang attacked, the human cultivators and the 3 clans also immediately attacked. When the battle broke out, the void trembled and shattered, and a 10,000 zhang long true dragon appeared from within. Its huge dragon head looked at the Dog Emperor and the others. Its voice was terrifyingly cold. Do you really want to fight the demon race to the death? Since things have already come to this, there is no need for Demon Emperor to speak nonsense, the Dog Emperor said calmly. He was not as strong as the Demon Emperor. If he faced him alone, the Dog Emperor was not confident in winning. But now that he had a few teammates with him, he still had the courage to face the Demon Emperor. The Demon Emperor said, Very good, but unfortunately, your opponent today is not Ben Huang. After saying that, blood clouds covered the sky. A person walked out from the demon race's secret realm, his body emitting a terrifying aura. A true immortal. The expressions of the Dog Emperor and the others changed. Their originally calm expressions turned serious at this moment. They knew. The demon race definitely had a true immortal left behind. Therefore, the Dog Emperor and the others were mentally prepared. When the true immortal of the demon race appeared, the Demon Emperor soared into the sky. A 10,000 zhang long true dragon entered the mother stream of law. Rumble. The mother stream of law trembled, and a long river of law was formed. In an instant, the Demon Emperor had stepped into the ranks of Tao. The Demon Emperor has achieved Tao. Qin Shujian felt it, and saw the 10,000 zhang long true dragon walking out of the mother stream of law. His expression became serious. If he remembered correctly, the Demon Emperor's talent was only superior, and there was almost no hope for him to become an immortal. However, the other party still reached this step. This way, the Demon Emperor's foundation and strength, compared to the other emperors, was much more terrifying. After all, Not everyone could break through the shackles of talent. But those who could break through the shackles of talent were definitely not simple people. P.S. As mentioned before, because I printed it at my own expense and not for commercial use, although the printing cost is not that expensive, the quantity is still quite a lot. The author's ability is limited, and I can't give everyone a free copy, so I can only give it to them through an event. If you're interested, take a look at the event details in the comments section. Chapter 655. The Demon Emperor achieved the Tao. Qin Shujian was a little surprised. He had guessed that the Demon Emperor would not be able to achieve the Tao. So, in order to prevent the Demon Clan from having more true immortals, he asked the three clans to join forces and let Xiyang bring him to the Heaven List to suppress the true immortals who broke the seal. Now, the luck of the human clan had increased greatly. The Heaven List itself was an 8-seal Tao artifact. With the gathering of the human clan's luck, it turned into a treasure of luck. With the two added together, its power had already surpassed an ordinary 9-seal Tao artifact. A true immortal at his peak was naturally not afraid of a 9-seal Tao artifact, but a sealed true immortal. His strength had been worn down for hundreds of thousands of years, and he was punished by the Thunder Tribulation. It was not impossible for the Heaven List to suppress him. So, Qin Shujian did not expect the Demon Emperor to achieve the Tao. But even if he achieved the Tao, in his opinion, it was not necessarily a bad thing. No matter what, it would not affect the human clan's war against the Demon Clan. After killing the Divine Emperor, Qin Shujian looked at the battlefield of laws where the ancient Buddha Emperor was. After time passed, the ancient Buddha Emperor had already walked more than half of the journey. His strength had already surpassed ordinary half-immortals and reached an extremely powerful level. He wants to achieve the Tao. How can it be so easy? Qin Shujian took a step forward, and the law of strength loomed under his feet. He also followed the law of strength. The ancient Buddha Emperor did not follow the ancient Buddha law, but chose to follow the law of strength. In that case, whether he could succeed in achieving the Tao, he would have to ask Emperor Qin first. The battlefield of laws shook. Qin Shujian had already appeared in front of the ancient Buddha Emperor. Qin Shujian. The ancient Buddha Emperor's eyes were cold. He had already mentally prepared himself for this scene. Blood clouds surged in the sky. A stone man walked out of the ancient Buddha's secret realm. The law of strength spread under his feet and directly broke into the battlefield of laws. This was the ancient Buddha Emperor's final trump card. The three true immortals of the ancient Buddha clan. The first true immortal died in the hands of Marquis Baiyun. The second true immortal died in the battlefield of laws. This was the third true immortal. He was also the last true immortal. With the arrival of the ancient Buddha true immortal, the ancient Buddha Emperor revealed a confident smile. Qinhuang, you are indeed strong. But so what? In the current situation, your human race can't possibly bring out a true immortal. In his opinion, Qin Shujian had no chance of winning. His strength had transformed, and he was now stronger than ordinary half-immortals. Moreover, he had the help of an ancient true immortal from the ancient Buddha clan. In terms of strength, even in his prime, the ancient Buddha Emperor had the confidence to contend with a lower 3 true immortal. Qin Shujian was very strong, but he definitely hadn't become an immortal. As such, the ancient Buddha Emperor naturally had nothing to fear. There is no need for the true immortals of my clan to do anything to kill you, Qin Shujian sneered. Unknowingly, the stone saber had appeared in his hand. He took a step forward. Lawful embodiment of heaven and earth with 2 steps, the power of the rules descended. Boom! A powerful aura rose from Qin Shujian's body, shaking the long river of laws violently. Because of the rules of the battlefield, apart from the law of strength, there was no increase in the other laws. But even so, Qin Shujian's current combat power could reach 420,000. That abyss-like aura rushed over. It made the ancient Buddha Emperor and the true immortal's expression change. You are very strong. Even in my prime, I might not be able to deal with you. I always thought that celestial immortal slaying was just a legend. But now, it seems that I was a frog in a well. The true immortal said slowly. There was a lot of emotion in his eyes. Celestial immortal slaying. After the end of the ancient era, this was a legend. The true immortal ancient Buddha was born 300,000 years ago and sealed 200,000 years ago. There was no chance for him to defeat such a legendary figure. On the other side, the ancient Buddha Emperor's expression turned even uglier. Celestial immortal slaying? Is there really someone who can do that? Whether it is true or not, we will know after a battle. The true immortal ancient Buddha stepped forward, and the distance between him and the battlefield was instantly shortened. My emperor, there is no retreat in the battle to attain the Tao. You can't be afraid. I am invincible to anyone who stands in your way. If you are afraid, you will never reach the peak. As soon as he finished speaking, the true immortal ancient Buddha struck out a huge palm. The petrified palm was filled with dense Buddhist light, as if to devour and assimilate Qin Shujian. Facing such an attack, Qin Shujian didn't retreat. Instead, he advanced and slashed out with his stone knife. The knife light tore the sky and split the earth, instantly shattering the Buddhist light. The remaining power didn't stop, suppressing the true immortal ancient Buddha. The true immortal ancient Buddha didn't panic. A golden lotus bloomed under his feet. Then, he held a flower in his right hand and pushed it forward. A swastika came from his palm, instantly colliding with the knife light. The two forces collided. They canceled each other out. Only the long river of laws was shaken. Waves thousands of feet high rose from the river, trying to swallow everything that didn't belong here. Seeing this, the true immortal ancient Buddha frowned, but he instinctively retreated. The battlefield of laws was fair. Unless it was someone who followed the same rules, any external force that tried to block the path would be treated unkindly here. The lack of laws was one of the reasons. And there was the risk of being overturned by the waves. The waves of the river were not ordinary waves. Every drop of river water weighed billions of pounds. If a wave hit, even a true immortal would be drowned. However, the true immortal ancient Buddha retreated. But it didn't mean that Qin Shujian had to retreat. He took a step forward, and the waves of the river were all suppressed. The Godslayer seemed to condense the killing power of heaven and earth, shooting out a terrifying knife light. This knife, Qin Shujian didn't hide anything. Seeing this, the ancient Buddha Emperor didn't just stand there and watch. The road ahead had been blocked by Qin Shujian. If he wanted to reach the end of the path, he had to get rid of those who stood in his way. Boom! The ancient Buddha Emperor stepped forward, and his aura reached an unprecedented peak. Then, he punched straight at Qin Shujian. A simple punch. It seemed to occupy all the vision of heaven and earth. Faced with this punch, Qin Shujian responded with a direct slash of his blade. The Godslayer slashed out. The fist aura shattered, and the remaining power didn't stop. It landed heavily on the ancient Buddha Emperor's fist. Even the half-immortal body couldn't resist the endless sharpness and directly tore it apart. In an instant, the fist cracked and shattered. Beneath the petrified skin, there was golden blood and golden bones. The ancient Buddha Emperor grunted. An even more powerful force surged forth and healed his injuries in an instant. However, he had just recovered from his injuries when Qin Shujian's attack came again. Facing this, the ancient Buddha Emperor could only retreat. Kill! The true immortal ancient Buddha roared and struck out a palm. He didn't stop the Godslayer's attack. Instead, he directly bypassed the Godslayer and attacked Qin Shujian's body. In this, Qin Shujian didn't withdraw his knife. Instead, he clenched his other hand into a fist and punched. Boom! Fist and palm collided. Terrifying power spilled out. Qin Shujian's body shook slightly. The ancient Buddha true immortal retreated 100 miles. The next moment, the three fought again. Now, the emperors had attained the Tao. There were no less than 20 or 30 powerhouses who had truly stepped onto the long river of laws. However, with so many emperors achieving the Tao, there was only one place where there was a true powerhouse blocking the Tao. That was the battlefield where the ancient Buddha Emperor was. The rest of the battlefield, it was much calmer. This was normal. Before Marquis Baiyun and Emperor Zhao attained the Tao, there were already 28 true immortals who had fallen, in addition to the other true immortals. After this battle, there were already more than 30 true immortals who had broken out of the seal. More than 30 true immortals. No matter how much foundation they had accumulated over 1,000,000 years, it was about this number. It could be said that the true immortals sealed by the various clans had been exhausted. From the destruction of the God clan, it could be seen, even the top clans didn't have any foundation to speak of. Otherwise, the God clan wouldn't have been destroyed so quickly. It was also because of this. The emperors of the various clans were so eager to attain the Tao. There was only one reason. There were no more sealed true immortals in the clans. If they still didn't become immortals, it would be difficult in the future. So, it was inevitable that the emperors would attain the Tao and become immortals. The Soul Guardian race. The Soul Guardian Emperor's expression was very ugly. The emperor's attaining the Tao was something he didn't expect. He originally thought, after he became an immortal, the Soul Guardian race would be able to become a top clan. But in the end, there was nothing he could do. The reason was, it was because when he attained the Tao, the rules were broken and his strength was severely damaged. It was said that he was a true immortal, but in reality, he was much weaker than a real true immortal. And all of this was caused by the Blood Eldar. Thinking of this, the killing intent in the Soul Guardian Emperor's heart soared. Then, he saw Bloodling Huang, who was opening up the battlefield. His expression was struggling and hesitating for a long time. If it was possible, he didn't want Bloodling Huang to attain the Tao so smoothly. But the Soul Guardian race wasn't the Blood Eldar. In terms of ancient foundation and remaining experts, the Soul Guardian race was far inferior to the Blood Eldar. There was no problem blocking the Tao. But the Soul Guardian Emperor was worried that the Blood Eldar still had hidden true immortals who hadn't appeared. After all, he had the confidence to stop Bloodling Huang, but he didn't have the confidence to fight against a sealed true immortal. If that was the case, there would be no way to stop the other party from attaining the Tao. In this way, if Bloodling Huang succeeded in attaining the Tao, the Soul Guardian race and the Blood Eldar would become mortal enemies. This was also the reason why the Soul Guardian Emperor was hesitating. Blocking the Tao enmity wouldn't rest until one of them died. But after hesitating for a while, the Soul Guardian Emperor suddenly came to his senses. The Blood Eldar stopped Ben Huang from attaining the Tao, so it's already an irreconcilable enmity. If Bloodling Huang succeeded in attaining the Tao, I'm afraid he might not let the Soul Guardian race go. Since that's the case, what's there to hesitate about? He thought of the key point. Killing intent appeared on the Soul Guardian Emperor's face. Next, the long river of rules extended out from the Soul Guardian realm and directly broke into the battlefield. The long river of rules shook. The Soul Guardian Emperor walked out of the gap. Bloodling Huang, if you want to attain the Tao, you have to step over Ben Huang. Hearing that, Bloodling Huang's footsteps paused. Standing in the battlefield, his aura naturally overflowed, suppressing the river without any undulation. He looked at the Soul Guardian Emperor in front of him, his eyes calm. Ben Huang didn't plan to attack the Soul Guardian race so soon, but since you dared to block the Tao, you're dragging the entire Soul Guardian race into the abyss of destruction. After Ben Huang attains the Tao, the Soul Guardian race will be the first to be destroyed. Calm words. But it made the Soul Guardian Emperor feel an uncontrollable chill in his heart. But soon, the chill was dispelled by him. Looking coldly at Bloodling Huang, the Soul Guardian Emperor didn't hide his killing intent. Attaining the Tao, you won't have the chance. After saying that, the Soul Guardian race stepped on the battlefield of rules. An invisible divine sense stirred up a gust of wind in the long river. In the blink of an eye, it covered Bloodling Huang. Bloodling Huang's expression didn't change. He waved his hand and shot out a burst of energy, forcibly tearing the gust of wind that swept over. The two collided. A great battle had already begun. On the other side, in the battlefield of rules of strength, Qin Shujian was fighting 1 against 2. With the boost from the rules of strength, his combat power had reached 420,000. The ancient Buddha true immortal was a true immortal, but after hundreds of thousands of years, his strength had fallen to a freezing point. There was a certain gap between him and Qin Shujian. Moreover, the Godslayer was Zhu Bing, sharp as a blade. It could even cut through the body of an immortal. As for the ancient Buddha Emperor, his strength had transformed a lot, but there was still a considerable gap between him and a true immortal. Therefore, the two peak half-immortals joined forces, but they were still at a disadvantage in the face of Qin Shujian's attack. Boom! The energy saber tore through the void and sent the ancient Buddha true immortal flying. In the sky above the long river of rules, the blood-colored tribulation lightning descended and bombarded the ancient Buddha true immortal. He'd been injured by Zhu Bing to begin with. Now that he was attacked by the tribulation lightning, his injuries worsened. His aura instantly weakened. The golden lotus bloomed. The ancient Buddha Emperor's face was solemn as he put his palms together. Then, endless Buddha light emerged from the center of his palms. Then, two huge handprints pressed down on Qin Shujian. Two handprints. They were like mountain peaks that connected heaven and earth. Do you really think you're Tathagata? Qin Shujian sneered as he looked at the descending handprints. The ancient Buddha Emperor was not Tathagata. He was not Sun Wukong either. He was still far from being able to suppress Yi Shiwen. The energy saber tore through the sky, and its terrible power instantly shattered the handprints. The moment the void collapsed, the remaining attack slashed toward the ancient Buddha Emperor. The golden lotus under his feet shone brightly. After pushing it to the limit, the golden lotus shattered with a bang. Finally, the energy saber slashed the ancient Buddha Emperor's body. Stone fragments flew. His flesh and blood were worn down. The ancient Buddha Emperor's aura weakened. At this moment, the tribulation lightning became even more powerful. The ancient Buddha true immortal took a step forward and said in a deep voice, "Whether my emperor can attain the Tao or not depends on this." As soon as he finished speaking, he ignored the Godslayer's attack and rushed directly to Qin Shujian's side. Then, his body exploded with a loud bang. A terrible power spread out in all directions with the ancient Buddha true immortal as the starting point. The waves of destruction. Everything it touched was annihilated and shattered. Qin Shujian did not hesitate. He took a step back, and it was as if his feet could shorten the distance of thousands of miles. However, he retreated very quickly. The aftershock of the ancient Buddha true immortal's self-destruction was even faster. The terrible power bombarded his body, causing his body, which had reached the limit of a heavenly being, to collapse uncontrollably. The power of destruction. It was as if it wanted to wear away Qin Shujian's flesh and blood little by little. Soon, a huge star river diagram appeared inside his body. Boundless starlight Taoist rhymes overflowed from it, counteracting and suppressing the destructive power. At this moment, the ancient Buddha Emperor could not care less about the sadness in his heart. He took a step forward and punched at Qin Shujian, tearing apart all the aftershock of destruction. Boom! The fist bombarded. It hit Qin Shujian's chest directly. The galaxy diagram vibrated. It intercepted all of the power that was coming at him. Under the effect of the galaxy diagram, this punch, which was enough to destroy heaven and earth, only cracked his body slightly, but it recovered in an instant. Is this the strongest power you can unleash? Qin Shujian's eyes were indifferent, and the corners of his mouth curved into a sarcastic smile. The ancient Buddha Emperor's face was full of shock. Before he could react, the Godslayer had already slashed out again. The terrifying blade. In the blink of an eye, the ancient Buddha Emperor's body was torn apart, and he was sent flying. Then, Qin Shujian slashed out again, and the ancient Buddha Emperor's injuries became even more serious. The ancient Buddha Emperor's heart was filled with both rage and fear. But in the face of Qin Shujian's continuous attacks, he was not qualified to fight back. At this moment, he felt the fear of death. Yes, death. The last true immortal of the ancient Buddha clan had fallen. With his current strength, there was no way he could contend with Qin Shujian, even if he wanted to cut off the long river of laws. It was also impossible for him to interrupt the process of Tao attainment. Everything was moving towards an irreversible situation. Finally, the stone blade slashed out. The ancient Buddha Emperor's body was torn apart, and the battlefield of laws shook violently. Qin Shujian kept his blade and looked at the monument at the end of the long river of laws. He did not touch it, because he was not qualified to reach that step. More importantly, the ancient Buddha Emperor who opened the battlefield of laws had fallen, and this place was about to collapse. There was no time for Qin Shujian to walk the long river of laws. At the same time, at the moment of the ancient Buddha Emperor's death, the ancient Buddha clan's hearts surged with grief. My emperor has fallen. Gather all the clansmen and enter the ancient Buddha's secret realm. No true immortals are allowed to come out. The remaining almighty of the ancient Buddha clan looked horrified and immediately made the right decision. At this moment, all the true immortals in the seal had fallen. Even the ancient Buddha Emperor, who had a chance of successfully Tao attainment, died in the battlefield of laws. In addition to the previous battle, the ancient Buddha clan had lost many almighties. It could be said that, from this moment on, the ancient Buddha clan had fallen from a top clan to one of the weakest clans. There were no Nirvana realm powerhouses. There were no emperors at the 10th level of the celestial being realm. There were only a few almighties at the 7th or 8th level of the celestial being realm. They were much more miserable than the weaker clans. So, the moment the ancient Buddha Emperor fell, the Almighty who stayed in the ancient Buddha's secret realm instantly recognized the realm as its master. Then, he summoned all the clansmen who could retreat into the ancient Buddha's secret realm. Then, the entire secret realm was sealed. Not only that, the ancient Buddha mystic realm completely broke away from its original void and escaped towards an unknown void. Such a method, naturally, it caused the void to shake. The cultivators in the cities of the ancient Buddha territory looked at the collapsed void in the distance with complicated expressions. The top clan in the past has finally declined. However, the ancient Buddha clan is decisive enough. They gave up the million-year operation just like that and fled with the entire secret realm. Hey, what can they do if they don't flee? Don't forget that the God clan was destroyed not long ago. With the strength of Emperor Qin, even if the secret realm is sealed, how much can it stop him? Giving up at this time is the right thing to do. Many cultivators side with emotion. There were also cultivators who agreed with the ancient Buddha clan's method. The ancient Buddha clan's strength was greatly reduced. If they did not give up, they were afraid that they would face the hidden danger of extinction. The God clan was already destroyed. There was no reason for the ancient Buddha clan to survive. On the contrary, they left with the ancient Buddha's secret realm and fled into the void. At that time, they could find a place to settle down. It would not be easy for the human clan to find the location of the ancient Buddha clan. Such a method, it was abandoning the rook to save the king. When the ancient Buddha clan had just retreated, the sky was covered with blood clouds. Instantly, those cultivators who were gloating at the ancient Buddha clan's misfortune turned green. The blood demon is here again. Motherf *Ker, the ancient Buddha clan has already left. Why is the blood demon still coming? Who knows? Quick, raise the array. Where is the array coming from? The ancient Buddha clan's people have all run away. Who can activate the array? This, the cultivators in the ancient Buddha territory wailed. As for Sihan Hai, they feared him from the bottom of their hearts. There was no other way. Every time he appeared, it was accompanied by countless deaths and injuries. Originally, the ancient Buddha clan was still resisting, so it was not to the point of collapse. But now, the ancient Buddha clan had all run away. Among the remaining cultivators, who could resist this famous blood demon, the blood clouds surged. They transformed into Si Han Hai's appearance. I'm late. I didn't expect you to leave so quickly. He scanned with his divine will. Si Han Hai understood what had happened. His face was full of regret. Then, he looked at the many cities in the ancient Buddha territory below, revealing a strange smile. All living beings suffer. Why don't you join my demon clan and enjoy the bliss? While talking, the blood clouds descended. In an instant, The entire ancient Buddha territory was covered. One by one, the demon clan cultivators were born from the blood clouds. Then, with scarlet eyes, they charged toward the cultivators below. Kill. Behead. Boom. A terrifying force pressed down. The Black Emperor was beaten until he coughed up blood and retreated. His powerful body was full of cracks. The destructive force lingered in it, constantly wearing down his physical strength. Not long after, another person fell. It was the Earth Emperor. The Black Emperor tilted his head and looked at the Earth Emperor, who was not much better than him, with a sneer on his face. To the Earth Emperor, he was unhappy from the bottom of his heart. Not only was he unhappy with the Earth Emperor, but he was also unhappy with the Dog Emperor. In the Black Emperor's view, both of them were betrayers. If it were not for their betrayal, he would not have ended up like this. Hearing that, the Earth Emperor sneered. You are not much better than me. Why do you have to say such nonsense? The Black Emperor did not pay any attention to this. After recovering from his injuries, he rejoined the battle once again. At this moment, the lightning tribulation crazily struck, but the demon clan true immortal strength was tyrannical and terrifying. Even with the lightning tribulation's interference, the Black Emperor and the other emperors of the three clans joined forces and could only barely delay it. There was no hope of victory at all. On the other side, Shiyang was on the side holding the line. He had not used the heaven list in his hand so far, waiting for the most suitable time. These ancient true immortals who had their seals lifted. The biggest threat wasn't his weakened strength, but his reckless self-destruction. If an expert of this level were to self-destruct, apart from Emperor Zhao and the Qin Emperor, who were not much weaker than true immortals, no one could resist. So, Shi Yang's real role was to prevent this true immortal from self-destructing. However, he wasn't too worried about this matter. Everyone could understand. Now that the Demon Emperor was reaching the Tao, the real role of this true immortal was to stall for time. If the other party self-destructed, even if he could kill all the emperors of the three clans, it would not solve the current crisis of the Demon Clan. After all, the power of a true immortal's self-destruction did not distinguish between friend and foe. If he really self-destructed, it would be a lose-lose situation. It was not just one demon clan that was participating in the battle. There were also some vassal clans of the demon clan. The experts of these clans. If too many of them died because of the self-destruction of the demon clan's true immortal, they would no longer work for the demon clan. Once there was no support from the vassal clans, without the existence of the true immortal. With the demon clan's current strength, they would not be able to resist the combined forces of the humans and the three clans. Therefore, in Shi Yang's opinion, the demon clan's true immortal would not self-destruct, nor would he dare to self-destruct. But even so, the intensity of the battle was not reduced at all. This battle, it was a battle to destroy the demon clan. All the clans were fighting with all their might. All the celestial cultivators were the main force of this battle. The battle had reached this point. Many celestial beings had already fallen. I'm afraid it won't be easy to destroy the demon clan. Shiyang sighed in his heart. Attacking the demon clan. Not only did it involve the demon clan, but it also involved the interests of other clans. Right now, many forces were supporting the demon clan, causing the occupation to fall into a stalemate. In the battlefield of rules, it would not be long before the Demon Emperor attained the Tao. Once the other party succeeded, according to Shi Yang's estimation, the two clans would not easily break out into a life-and-death battle. So, instead of saying that this battle was to destroy the Demon Clan, it was better to say that it was a battle to completely display the power of the human clan and thus occupy a dominant position in the four great continents. But seriously speaking, Shiyang still had a glimmer of hope in his heart, a glimmer of hope to destroy the demon clan. After an unknown period of time, the world shook. There were Sanskrit chants, golden flowers falling from the sky, and golden lotuses appearing on the ground. A long river of rules ran through the universe. A person stood at the end of the long river of rules. An abyss-like aura instantly swept across the four great continents, pressing down on the minds of all the living beings. The weak living beings all bowed down to that person in unison. Greetings, true immortal. The voices were as uniform as one, straight into the clouds. At this moment, heaven and earth congratulated. All living beings congratulated. An expert has succeeded in attaining the Tao. The Earth Sovereign resisted the urge to bow down and worship. Looking at the person standing at the end of the long river of rules in the sky, his face was already filled with shock. Attaining the Tao and becoming an immortal. After 200,000 years, there was finally an expert attaining the Tao and becoming an immortal. What a terrifying aura. It made the Earth Sovereign feel as small as an ant. Such power. It was definitely not something that those ancient true immortals who had broken out of the seal could possess. If one had to compare, only when Xia Yi of the human clan walked out of the eastern continent in the past could his abyss-like aura be comparable. It was also at this moment. The destiny of the human clan shook. The vast destiny of the human clan ran through the entire eastern continent and spread all the way to the human clan's territory. The illusory Zhao Emperor. He was suppressed in the long river of destiny of the human clan. Then, Xiang felt the heaven list in his hand tremble slightly, as if it was reflecting the destiny of the human clan. Father has become an immortal. A look of wild joy appeared on his face. Zhao Emperor had become an immortal. This was the greatest news for the human clan. At this moment, the morale of the human clan was greatly boosted. Haha, Zhao Emperor has become an immortal. Our human clan already has a true immortal. The destruction of the demon clan is at this moment. Kill. Dan Hao laughed out loud. Then, he seemed to have broken some kind of restriction, and the aura on his body was sublimated and instantly soared. 7th level of the Heaven Realm. Almighty Realm. After being silent for hundreds of years, Dan Hao felt like he had to say something when he broke through. In the end, a long roar resounded. Dan Hao's body was smooth, and then he charged toward the Demon Clan Almighty in front of him. True Immortal. The Demon Clan True Immortal's expression was extremely ugly at this moment. The human clan was the first to succeed. This was the worst outcome. Not only that, the terrifying aura emanating from Zhao Emperor struck fear into this true immortal of the demon race. This aura is definitely not something that a first-level immortal can possess. What kind of law did he follow? How can he have such a powerful aura after just breaking through? In the eyes of the demon clan True Immortal, Zhao Emperor's current strength was probably not much weaker than a second-level immortal. That vast and mighty rule, it made him completely confused. However, before the heaven and earth phenomenon completely disappeared, there was another Sanskrit chanting. Golden flowers scattered in the sky. Golden lotuses surged out of the ground. The demon clan's luck shook, and a true dragon tens of thousands of feet long stood at the end of the long river of laws. The dragon's roar was earth-shattering. Suddenly, the demon clan's aura also soared. The demon emperor had achieved Tao. This proved that there was going to be a true immortal in the demon clan. Compared to the demon clan, the human clan's face darkened. The demon emperor's Tao was too coincidental, and it happened one after the other. This was the most troublesome thing. Even Xiyang. There was also a helpless look on his face. In the battlefield of laws, two emperors had achieved Tao one after another. The killing intent in Bloodling Huang's eyes soared, and endless power erupted in an instant, bombarding the Soul Protection Emperor's body. Suddenly, the Soul Protection Emperor was sent flying while coughing up blood. How dare you stop Bin Huang from achieving Tao? Die. Bloodling Huang did not intend to continue fighting. Zhao Emperor and the Demon Emperor had already achieved Tao, and there was no guarantee that the other emperors would also achieve Tao one after another. If this continued to drag on, Blood Eldar would be in big trouble. Achieving Tao was a race against time. Achieving Tao a moment later could bring about unpredictable changes. So, the Soul Protection Emperor must die. A terrifying power erupted, bombarding his body until it collapsed. The Soul Protection Emperor's face was full of disbelief. How can you be so strong? He could not believe it. He was a true immortal, but he was beaten to such a state by a half-immortal. Not long after the battle began. Although the Soul Protection Emperor was at a disadvantage, he was not as miserable as he was now. If not for the immortal body's resistance, just now, he would have been completely defeated. As the first true immortal to achieve Tao, the Soul Protection Emperor could not accept such a fact. Bustling Huang's face was full of disdain, and he said sarcastically, "You are worthy of being called a true immortal. Previously, I didn't want to waste my time, so I turned a blind eye to your soul protection race. Do you really think that a trash like you is qualified to go against me, Blood Eldar? Today, Ben Huang will kill you, so as not to embarrass the true immortal." As soon as he finished, the attack erupted. At this moment, the Soul Protection Emperor felt the aura of death. He had no time to argue. He forcefully broke the battlefield of laws and then fled downwards. Until now, what can't let Bustling Huang succeed in achieving Tao? What revenge? All of them were thrown to the back of the Soul Protection Emperor's mind. Bustling Huang's strength was far beyond the Soul Protection Emperor's imagination. If he continued to fight, only death awaited him. So, the Soul Protection Emperor simply fled. In the battlefield of laws, Bustling Huang looked at the Soul Protection Emperor who disappeared. His eyes were still cold, but he did not pursue it. Cultivators who broke through the Tao could forcefully break the battlefield of laws, but those who achieved Tao could not. The path of Tao, there was no life. There was no retreat at all. Only by walking to the end and leaving one's own imprint on the monument of laws could one truly be free from the battlefield of laws. Or else, there was only one path to walk: death. Without the Soul Protection Emperor's obstruction, Bustling Huang no longer had any resistance in the long river of laws. Every step forward, the aura on his body would become more tyrannical. After an unknown amount of time, he walked to the end of the long river of laws. His body had become crystal clear like jade, and an aura that suppressed the world emitted from it, causing the entire long river of laws to tremble slightly. Looking at the monument of laws in front of him, Bustling Huang left his own imprint on it. In an instant, heaven and earth chanted. All kinds of strange phenomena appeared between heaven and earth. After the human clan's Zhao Emperor and the monster clan's Monster Emperor, Blood Eldar's Bustling Huang became the third supreme expert to succeed in achieving Tao. The human clan, the monster clan, and the Blood Eldar, there are already 3 forces with true immortals. It won't be long before the other emperors succeed in achieving Tao. The 4 great continents have finally become the world of true immortals. Qin Shujian stood on a mountain peak, looking at the various strange phenomena in the sky. The power of worship did not affect him at all. The birth of a true immortal. This meant that the world of great battles had reached a peak. Thinking of this, Qin Shujian said softly, "Was there such a prosperous situation in the ancient times?" Such a situation will appear when any period of time declines to the extreme. The ancient times were destroyed, and heaven and earth were silent for many years. Until the beginning of the ancient times, such a situation appeared. The Celestial Emperor established the Celestial Court just to continue this prosperous situation. In the Sea of Consciousness, the Godslayer's voice came out. Extreme prosperity leads to decline. Extreme misfortune leads to bliss. This was the inevitable principle of the operation of heaven and earth. No one could go against it, not even someone as strong as the Emperor of Heaven. However, the Godslayer thought of Qin Shujian. He was not sure whether the other party could continue this prosperous situation forever. Qin Shujian was silent. He withdrew his gaze from the strange phenomena, and finally, his gaze fell on the territory of the ancient Buddha clan. It had been completely covered by blood clouds. From the outside, it looked like a huge blood cocoon had completely swallowed up the ancient Buddha clan's territory. Although Qin Shujian was standing outside, he could feel the killing going on inside. However, he did not make a move to stop it. This time, he came here to destroy the ancient Buddha clan. However, the ancient Buddha secret realm ran too fast, and Qin Shujian had no way to catch a trace. P.S. The free book gift event can be stacked. One quota can get a book, 600,000 to 800,000 words. If there are 4 quotas, you can get a complete set of books, including but not limited to 4 volumes. Even if there are still updates later, The contents of the book will be added as a gift. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.